the show. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. Don.
I got to divorce my wife and have my kids bleed out.
No.
Because the Giant game's on.
No.
Otherwise, I'm not a real fan.
Hahn.
What kind of fan are you?
Not a good one.
And Rosenberg.
The Peter haters who call, stupid. The Peter fans who call, very bright. This isn't North Dakota. This is New York.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
The best threesome I've ever heard.
On ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
301 in the big city. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. We're at Plaza 33 outside Madison Square Garden. Getting you ready for Game 2. Knicks and the Hawks as the Knicks looking to lay the hammer down, hold serve, and take a 2-0 series lead. Mr. Hahn, how are you?
Freezing.
Yeah, it's cold.
This is playoff weather, isn't it?
This is not playoff weather. This is December weather.
Yeah. No, we are dressed for winter, we're dressed for the weather, but it'll be hot in the building. I'll tell you that. Game 2, Knicks get the win in Game 1 to get themselves off to the right start. And, it was this Plaza 33 on Saturday night was rocking. So it's playoff time when this area is filled with Knicks fans at night. And 7th Avenue, it's a good thing when 7th Avenue then gets filled afterwards around, 10:30,
as corny
11
as some of those people are.
Hey, listen, it's a tradition unlike any other now.
It is unlike
Apparently.
any other, I will tell you.
Yeah.
Unlike
any other, huh? You don't like it, do you?
Well, I love Knicks fans celebrating a victory.
Yes.
But then when these people just want to go viral and chanting about Trae Young, who's not even on the team anymore, and, death taxes and sweeping the Hawks, you lost to him 5 years ago, for God's sakes.
Oh, why bring facts to the table?
No, but listen, it's fun and become part of the ambiance of the Knicks in the postseason. And when you take a look at the winter sports, this is the one constant. The Knicks in the playoffs, and for a second consecutive year, the feeling is going to be a run. So if you're going to be in the area, if you're going to the game, certainly swing by. If not, just hang out with us. We're going to be here until 7 o'clock. The game's not until 8. And our coverage right here on 880 will begin at 7 o'clock with Pat O'Keefe, as we'll have a special hour pregame leading into Game 2. And you take a look and you see what happened to the Pistons against the Magic. And
the one team that lost.
It's
the
crazy,
one home
right?
team that lost was the top seed in the East, the Pistons. And what everybody talked about, matchup styles make fights and all that stuff. And the Magic could be a tough out for Detroit. I think they'll get it right, but they did not look good.
I think they will too. But
they haven't won a home game in the playoffs.
It's 08, right?
Like 2008.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They've been swept a couple of times, and then Knicks last year won all 3 in Detroit.
Celtics look sloppy, but they still won by 30.
Oh, please. That was, you talk about batting the bunny.
Did you see it's a nice effort, and I appreciate it. And they're still trusting the process down there in Philadelphia. But apparently if you go to a Dunkin' Donuts in Philadelphia during the course of that series, you cannot get a Boston cream.
That's cute.
They're going to call it the Philly cream. Well, you got a couple of days to have fun with
Right.
And then they'll be done batting the bunny, and then they'll move on to the second round.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. And we'll take your calls at 1-800-919-3776. Tons of other things to get to. Very interesting weekend in the world of New York sports.
Oh, boy.
Is that I still believe you got to focus on the task at hand. You can fantasize about runs and how you match up against Boston and get excited about Detroit losing the game against the Magic and maybe the team that swept you in the regular season series not be there in the conference final.
Well,
I know
so
the Knicks
far,
are advancing. I know.
If we do get back to the conference finals, meaning us doing shows here,
right.
I guarantee we won't be wearing overcoats. Right? So, that's so far away right now, it's not even worth thinking about. But because we spent so much time talking about it, what you saw Saturday night, isn't that kind of the business-like approach you were looking for?
They did not worry you. All right? Maybe there was a little run there at the end when they cut it to 8, when it looked like OG rolled his ankle at one point. But that's just being a negative Nelly, just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Well,
but really, they won the game in the convincing fashion you expect them to be able to win the game, right?
It did bring back those vibes of Game 1 Eastern Conference Finals.
No, I get that.
There was a moment there, but the point, though, they were up 19. They were in full control. The second half, they made adjustments at halftime. And, as I said, the most important player in this series, Karl-Anthony Towns, he didn't just awaken. That was a monster we saw. And that's the guy that Shaq and many others, experts who are looking at the Knicks and looking at not only this series but a potential run, is they're saying the Knicks are going to go as he goes. Because we already know Brunson's the constant. You know what you're getting out of him. It's Towns is the guy, though, that if he's playing with that kind of ferocity, they're a different team, and they're a difficult team to beat.
Well, Brunson is the constant in the overall package, right?
Right.
But
he's what you expect.
Still, what do you 19 in the first half,
first quarter,
and then disappeared. But that's when Cat kicked it in.
Yeah.
So
speaking of kick, Brunson did get kicked in the cubes, and that might have affected his shooting.
It might have. It would affect my shooting. I know that for sure. But he picked up for Brunson.
Yeah.
And when they both are going, then you know how dangerous this team can be,
Yeah,
and that's where Knicks fans fantasize about making that run.
Yeah. Hawks coach Quinn Snyder's quote was, "It's basically pick your poison."
Yeah.
When these two are on the court and they're playing the two-man game they were playing, and you've got to figure out which one are you trying to take away, because it's hard to take away both when they're both playing well. Mm-hmm. So the adjustments for tonight, as we know, there's always adjustments in a series, and the referees change, so the calls change. The Knicks got 30 free throw attempts in game one. So a lot of little things to watch to see if the playing field is leveled, and can the Hawks, because all they're looking to do is get one anyway, right? You want to get the split.
Yeah.
So still a lot of good things. I loved the approach, the start, everything that you wanted to see in a game one for a team that's that you want to take serious about what they want to do, the task at hand, which is this is the start. They want this to be the start of a long run. That's how you start. And so tonight is now picking up more adjustments and just making sure that you're ready to go, that everybody's locked in, and that there isn't someone who's missing, who isn't on the bus tonight.
And we've got a huge Nick Day, and we'll take your calls throughout the day till 7 o'clock at 1-800-919-3776. The guests are starting to come about 4 o'clock. Steve Novak, former Knicks, going to come up at 4 o'clock. Monica McNutt's going to be here. Tyler Murray is going to be here. We're also hoping to hear from John Starks.
John Starks is going to come by at 6 o'clock hour.
6 o'clock hour. Mm-hmm. So usually the things we have on a Monday, the NFL binge at 4:30 and ENN at 6. We're going to shelve today just because of the fact that, A, Peter is not here. He's coming back from WrestleMania over the weekend from Vegas. He'll be back with us again tomorrow. But also that's when all the Knicks stuff's going to really kick in. So we're going to be really Knicks-centric a little bit later on in the show. But there are other things to get to. Very interesting weekend. While the Knicks game was going on, and we were on a text thread and following everything that was happening with the Knicks on a Saturday night, the news comes down about Dexter Lawrence. And the buzz, because I was bouncing around. Full disclosure, I'm watching it on my computer because my nephew had a Little League game under the lights that I was watching.
Nice.
And then all of a sudden, people were coming up to me, Don, did you hear about Dex?
Yeah.
Did you hear about that? I'm like, I did. And I was just, my phone blew up.
Yep.
A 10th overall pick. And I really do believe in my heart, the Giants didn't have any intent to trade him. I think they felt like, hey, we've got the hammer. Eventually he's going to cave. We're going to get him at the money that we want, or no contract at all. And he's going to play. It's in his best interest to play, and we'll work this out down the line. And then they get offered the 10th overall pick in the draft, which, talking to people around the league, universally believe no one thought the Giants could get that.
Right.
Like, that is unbelievable what Cincinnati offered, that I just think the Giants are like, we got to take this.
Yes.
We absolutely have to take it. And I get it from Cincinnati's perspective because, we've been on the Joe Burrow stuff for a year now. And make it clear, Joe Burrow wants to win in Cincinnati, or at least know they're moving in the right direction. Otherwise, he's going to want out. And Baltimore let go of their coach. Still, we're waiting for Aaron Rodgers to confirm he's coming back in Pittsburgh. And if he does, he's still 43 years old. They never get it right in Cleveland. So Cincinnati's thinking, the one thing we need is to strengthen our defense. We want to be able to keep our quarterback happy. Forget the future. 10th pick for Dexter Lawrence. That's going to really help us get back in the fold in the AFC. So I get it from Cincinnati's perspective, but I get it from the Giants' perspective. Lawrence didn't want to be here. The Giants were disappointed that he asked for more money after having a really disappointing year last year, injuries and everything else. Carl Banks called him out during the broadcast. We've talked about that chapter and verse during the course of the season. I think it's a home run for the Giants.
Especially when you think what you just said. When we first heard this, the thinking was you weren't going to get a pick in this year's draft. You probably would rather get one in next year's draft. And there were experts. So we were really just basing this off of a lot of what experts were saying. Experts were saying that they probably won't get a first-round pick for him. That's not something that would happen. So immediately you're thinking that this is going to be a long play, that the Giants don't have to have any urgency. But the calls started to come in, and when they got that call and you get the 10th pick, nothing else too, by the way, Don. Usually it's, you get like a fifth and something like that. You'll always get a second pick out of it, or you'll have to throw something in. No, it was just player for pick, 10th overall in this draft. Now you have 5 and 10. That's pretty serious for a new regime and a new era now starting. It's just one of those situations like the Jets went through with Quinnen Williams and with Sauce Gardner. It's just you weren't shopping, but once you get an offer like that, you got to say yes. You take it and you run and you go from there. And if you're the Bengals, they lost Trey Hendrickson. Their defense got weaker. The defense has not been very good anyway. You need people that can get to the quarterback when he's healthy. That's what Dex can do. For a guy who's a defensive tackle, he's actually really good at just exploding the middle of your offensive line. So it makes sense on both parties to make a move like this. And if you're the Giants now, it'll be curious to see draft night with a 5 and a 10, what kind of action that they get involved in.
Yeah, it could be very, very interesting. So the draft, of course, we've got the couch cast coming up.
That gets interesting too, doesn't it?
23rd, because the Jets have 2 and 16, the Giants have 5 and 10. So you've got the Jets and the Giants each with 2 picks in the first 16.
So Rick and
good.
Dave both are going to – that's 4 picks for the two of them.
No, it's going to be great.
To agonize over and react to. It's brilliant that we decided to do a couch cast that
Now, this is the fan in me, and I've always said this going back. If you don't want to play for me, I don't want you. Now, obviously, logic and cooler heads have to prevail because Dexter Lawrence is their best player. So you got to be careful. You don't want to cut off your nose to spite your face. But whenever I start hearing a guy doesn't want to play for me, why am I going to bend over backwards to have him stay if he wants out? And it seemed like he was never going to play for the Giants again, although I don't know what that looks like because was he going to sit out an entire year to make that happen? But Jordan Raanan was on DiPietro Rothenberg earlier today, and he said Dexter Lawrence wasn't coming back to the Giants.
So they knew for like almost 2 weeks, apparently, that was going to be a possibility, the 10th overall pick. They still were trying to get it done and to make it work, and they couldn't make it work with Dexter Lawrence. He clearly did not really want to be here. He had enough. The last couple of years had worn on him to the point where he wanted out, and that's why obviously he requested a trade, right? That says a lot right there. And so I think that's why we got to where we are. Unless the Giants were going to be able to rip up his contract and give him whatever he wants, he wasn't going to be back.
Which is interesting to me.
Didn't Joe Shane say that things were that they had good talks?
Well, good talks in the sense of
last week.
He heard what I said. We're not going to offer you any more money.
Right.
Right. It's
good communication.
It's interesting why. Now, obviously, people are going to say he didn't want to play for Joe Shane, doesn't like Joe Shane. I don't think players, outside of having to deal with contracts, care who the general manager is.
Yeah, you're not playing for him.
You're not playing for him. You're playing for the coach.
Right.
And then when Lawrence left and he spoke to the media, he had nothing but praise for the Giants, nothing but praise for John Harbaugh. He just wanted a fresh start. All right. Now, does he have a better chance to win a Super Bowl in Cincinnati this year than if he had stayed with the Giants? Absolutely. When you consider the division that Cincinnati's in, if they can get back to where they were, they're a playoff team.
Don,
that maybe can make a run.
Hang on. Did he go to a better situation? Did he go to a better
this year? He did.
Did he go to a better franchise?
No, but for this year, he did.
And by the way, he got a 1-year extension.
Well, that's it.
At 28 million. Did he really get what he wanted out of this, or was it just I don't care anywhere but here?
Well, I think it just came down to
let's see.
He's looking
how this plays out
because, like you said, I honestly think he's going to play for Cincinnati. They're going to go for it in 2026.
Right.
And then when the season's over, it's going to go right back to I want my contract. I want an extension. Let's get something done. And there's going to be a conversation. If he balls out, he is not going to be happy with the 1 year that Cincinnati gave him.
Of course.
So they're going to have a headache. But Cincinnati doesn't care because they're living in the now. The Giants want to be better. I'm not saying they're punting on 2026, but they're looking at the wide-angle lens of this whole thing. And I think Lawrence has experienced a lot of losing, and I think he doesn't want to be part of, eventually we're going to get great again. In a couple of years, we're going to be competing for a Super Bowl. I think he wanted to get out. I think he wanted to win now. He's going to be 30 years old, and I think that's all that it is. I don't think he's got a problem with New York. I don't think he's got a problem with Giant fans. I don't think he's got a problem with John Harbaugh. I think it's just that, hey, I've done a lot of losing here. We're probably going to be better, but not great in 26. Get me someplace where I could be like Saquon Barkley, win a Super Bowl the year I get out of New York, that I can go someplace like everybody else does, and like Leonard Williams did, and have a chance to win right away. And that's what he's looking at. And the Giants were able to get him out of the conference, so you don't have to worry about him winning at your expense.
Right.
And then we'll fast forward. If Cincinnati, plays in a Super Bowl, wins a Super Bowl, home run for Dexter. If not, then I could see it being a headache for Cincinnati, and then the Giants will move on. Make no mistake, the Giants didn't improve their chances this year by trading Dexter Lawrence.
No,
but like I said, the wide angle lens wise, they've improved their future.
That's why I want to ask you: is in the end, who's going to win this deal? Dexter Lawrence or the Giants? Who's going to win this? Whatever this was, because the Giants, as we said, they didn't want to move on from him. So it wasn't like they were tired of him, right? He wanted out, and that's what they did. So when you think about what they got, and you think about the short-term gain that Dex got, but the type of franchise he went to. Yes, I know they have Joe Burrow. They have 2 all-pro wide receivers. Their defense is trash. They lost their best defensive player to begin with.
Right.
All right. Which situation, in the end, who's going to win this?
Well, right now,
because I think this was stupid by Dex. I really do. This was dumb.
The odds are in the Giants' favor because they've got more of an opportunity to win this than Cincinnati does. Cincinnati's got an excellent opportunity in 2026 to compete. I think they can win that division, and they'll be in the postseason, and in all likelihood, the Giants will not.
Especially when you think about that division, right? Coaching changes all across the board, except in Cincinnati. And while Baltimore feels like the class, we don't know what they're going to be. They have a new coach. They have, it's all now on Lamar Jackson. We don't know what Pittsburgh's going to be. New coach, and is Aaron Rodgers there or is he not there? It sounds like he's going to be there, but still, what are they going to be? And then the Browns, like you said it well, the Browns are the Browns. You expect nothing out of them.
If they win the division, win a playoff game, and they're playing in the divisional round of the playoffs, and the Giants, finish 7-10, it's going to look like, Dexter won, Cincinnati won. But like I said, if Lawrence balls out, he's going to want to renegotiate. And Cincinnati's going to have a headache. The Giants, if they do a great job at 10 and set themselves up, they've got a better chance in 27 and 28 to win this deal. So initially, the ball's in Cincinnati's court, and it'll look good for them if they make the playoffs and make a run, and the Giants don't. But then after 26, it's going to be a headache for Cincinnati, and the Giants will, if they draft right, will have a 10th overall pick that's maybe playing for them. And now they're building, and now they have a little bit more cap space, and now the ball's in their court to go out and win the trade.
Getting 10 almost gives you now the ability to be more aggressive at 5, right? Where you might not take a wide receiver at 5, they could end up getting the best wide receiver. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think the 10 pick changes their approach in this draft dramatically. I don't expect them to find a way to move up like you would drive you crazy. I know Dave crazy to get Jeremiah Love, but it doesn't mean that that's not on the table.
Well, maybe
there's a lot on the table now with that pick.
Do you feel like now you can do that and it becomes less of a problem because you still have the 10th overall pick?
I do.
To where I could be aggressive at 5, move up to 4.
And still get another
quality player. You don't have to freak out
because
I still have a top 10 pick coming up after making that deal.
Yeah, I do.
And
I think
still get a stud there, and I get the running back that I'm looking for.
And word is Arizona, I think Shefty said this today, Arizona's listening. If you can get a dynamic offensive player, you do it.
Yeah. But so this was a stunner. It was. Because I really didn't think he was going to get dealt. And we'll see how it works out for Dexter Lawrence. I think these football players, Alan, they don't look at it like other athletes do, where they figure, I'm going to play for 15 years, I'm going to get my opportunities to win. Football players realize as each year knocks off the calendar is less and less of an opportunity for them to find the success that they're looking for.
That's about right now.
And then you get north of 30, and it's like, you know what, this could all be over. I want my chance to get mine. I want my money. I want a chance to win. And I don't want to sit here, as much as I might believe that the Giants are moving in the right direction and that John Harbaugh is the right hire, I don't know if I want to spend the next 2-3 years hoping to get to a place where I've got a chance to win. Let me get going right now. And Cincinnati might be that destination. And you look at the AFC, right? Mm-hmm. Kansas City, you figure they're going to be back, but there's talk that, we'll Mahomes be ready for the start of the season? And is Kansas City now on the back nine for their opportunities? We're waiting for Justin Herbert forever. You know, when they're going to get it going.
Yep.
Is Denver ready to take that next step with Bo Nix?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you just outlined how things are in the AFC North, in the AFC East. You know, the Jets are a long ways away from competing. The Patriots aren't going anywhere.
And they're about to get A.J. Brown
in
June.
I know.
Yeah.
But the Bills, are the Bills going to be taking steps back like Kansas City? You only get so many kicks at the can.
True.
So the AFC could be where, hey, maybe Cincinnati can find their way back, and who knows, maybe they're going back to the Super Bowl. And the one quarterback that has been able to go to Kansas City and win has been Burrow. So I understand what Cincinnati's thinking, but their only chance to win the deal is this year. After that, all bets are going to be off. But, hey, they've never won a championship. It's been a tough couple of years for them, and I understand what they're thinking. And draft picks are air, right? You don't know what any of these guys are going to turn out to be.
Idea.
So that's what's on the table from a football perspective. Knicks Hawks round 1. Tune into MSG Networks as they will be hosting pre-games and post-game coverage for each of the Knicks post-games all season long. Game 2 coverage begins at 7:30 with a guy on my left here, Alan Hahn, Bill Pito, Wally Zerbiak. They're going to be in studio. Alex Monaco is going to be on the street interviewing fans. Monica McNutt and Tyler Murray is going to join throughout. So tune in tonight at 7:30 for pregame coverage of the Knicks and the Hawks. We are here, Plaza 33. We're going to be here till 7 o'clock, leading you up into the game, and then Alan and I, like gentlemen, are going to walk into Madison Square Garden, enjoy Game 2.
Yep.
All right, looking forward to that. Getting to see some people. Maybe I'll see Spike. I haven't seen Spike since last year. I'm talking about Spike Lee.
Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Yes.
No offense to Spike and St. Pete.
Right. I don't think he's here.
He's not here, so I'm not
Spike,
going to see him.
Tracy Morgan. I was hoping that Tracy, before he goes in the building, could stop by here.
Is Stephen A. back from WrestleMania? Does he have time for the NBA now?
I don't know. I don't know where he ended up going.
Does he have time for his Knicks?
He's probably in
the
LA,
big
right?
Knick fan.
Did he do the show from LA today?
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't.
All I know is that on Saturday night when his Knicks were starting the playoffs, he was at WrestleMania, getting booed out of the building.
I heard that.
But
is it weird that at WrestleMania getting booed is almost like being cheered?
I wouldn't know.
I would think apathy is probably the worst thing to get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you hear, like, who is that? What?
Yeah, you don't want that.
No, you want
everybody down the Greca.
Want everybody to hate you. That's probably the best thing. All right, we got
he good.
Phone calls, 1-800-919-3776. Got to bring up my Mets.
Do you?
Give them this. They found some consistency. you know what you're going to get every night when the Mets play.
Your rant, by the way, aging like fine wine down the Greca.
Well,
like fine wine.
And I've got more coming. So stay tuned for that.
Oh, baby.
Sun's out. Maybe that's a little bit of an omen for tonight, right? It was dank. It was cold. Now it's like warmed up a little bit. The sun's out.
Blue skies.
They know we're here.
Orange and blue skies.
Orange and blue skies. And, of course, the Knicks on the table. Steve Novak's going to be here. John Starks is going to be here. Tyler Murray. Monica McNutt.
Yep.
It's going to be a huge show. Take it up till 7 o'clock. It's Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg just getting started here on a Monday on ESPN New York. But I also got to let you know that there are pests.
Yes.
There are people that are a problem. But you know what? Insects don't have to be a problem. You know that I want to use the right game plan, right? On the ice, off the ice. That's the way you get it done, which is why I use Viking Pest Control myself. As the pest control provider and proud partner in the New Jersey Devils, Viking has been protecting homes for over 45 years with expert pest control service and solutions tailored just for you. From ants and cockroaches to road-stinging insects and backyard mosquitoes, Viking keeps pests out of your house and out of the play. Bundle pest control with mosquito services and save big. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com. Viking Pest Control, protecting your home inside and out.
Knicks.
In the lane with two. Floater at the horn is good and rattled in. 19 first quarter points for Brunson.
The Hawks.
Deuce off the dribble. Buries a three. Deuce McBride came to play in the fourth quarter.
The NBA playoffs.
All the way to the rim. Right hand bank shot and a foul. Karl Anthony Towns is taken over.
Game 2 coverage gets underway tonight at 7 on 880 and the ESPN New York app.
The New York City Department of Correction offers countless career opportunities, from specialized units to leadership roles that support public safety and change lives for the better. It starts with one step: registering for the New York City Correction Officer exam. Earn over $109,000 after just 5.5 years. Benefits on day one, job security, pension at any age after 22 years of service. Go to nyc.gov/joindoc or search Join DOC. One career, many opportunities. Register today to take the test.
Knicks fans, it's time to hit the court with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. Download the BetMGM app today and add a boost of excitement to every New York game day with same-day parlays, live betting options, player props, boosted odds specials, and the best daily promotions in the business. With the BetMGM app at your fingertips, you can experience the excitement of betting on your favorite players and get in on all the blue and orange action as your New York Knicks drive the lane. Find out why basketball fans love BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Gambling problem in New York? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
And now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Hey there, guys. Good afternoon. We're going to start off in Jersey. Not so great on 17 northbound. Over by the Garden State Parkway in Paramus, a big crash involving a bunch of cars. Only one lane is squeezing by. Traffic is jammed there from Passaic Street and Rochelle Park. Southbound side, left lane out with emergency crews on the scene. That is you bumper to bumper from Ridgewood Avenue. Inbound George, still have some afternoon road work on the upper deck. It'll cost you about 10 to 15 minutes. Heavy delays on the West Side Highway northbound, heading over to the outbound George. Earlier car fire blocking that ramp. Everything cleaned up, but the damage is done. Still packed there and backed up into the 90s. Outbound Lincoln and Holland tunnels not too bad, about 5 to 10 minutes each. This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Visit mad.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Smalls here. If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds can turn into sinus infections that last weeks, ruining your perfect vacation getaway. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and a pharmacy, it's stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy at home. It includes prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of illnesses. So if you wake up sick, at home, or on the road, you have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours hours at urgent care and no pharmacy lines. Also, no copays. Match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor. Start meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs a medical emergency kit, so order yours online in minutes. It's shipped right to your door. Save $45 with my promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. That's promo code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. Prescription required. Always consult your doctor to determine if this product is right for you.
What? I want to apologize to our listeners. I should have led with it. Today's 420. I mean,
Let's go.
This is the audience that celebrates 420, no? We are the show of high.
So when
you guys know.
So when we get to actually 4:20 p.m., like,
Oh,
what
forget
happens?
Yeah, at the end of the Steve Novak interview.
Light him if you got him.
Sparking up.
Smoke weed every day.
So, bad job. I was thinking about it all day. It's like I got to acknowledge to our audience that this is their holiday.
The sign here at Plaza 33 says no smoking or vaping.
No, but
if you take a good inhale.
One thing a New Yorker could do is persevere. Those signs are all over Madison Square Garden when Fish plays here.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been at a Fish concert, believe me, the contact high is real.
Yeah. Well, you know what that sign really is? A suggestion.
No, listen, that's all it is.
I don't think it's a rule.
I see the Ghostbusters, anti-vaping, but it's not in red. It's in black and white. So that means that's like a stop. You ever see a stop sign in black and white?
No.
No. So if there's no color in the sign, that means that
if it's not in red,
you do what you want.
Yeah, it's a suggestion, not a rule.
A couple of other things before we get to the calls. Odell Beckham Jr. working out with the Giants.
What do you think of that?
I don't have any feelings for it. I was never a fan.
He loves him. You know that.
If my coach is a fan of his and thinks he can make the team better, then by all means.
All right.
I mean, obviously he wants to come back and make amends. Was not a great time here, although many people, get excited about the time Odell was here and talk about that catch against the Cowboys and the fight with Josh Norman. I thought it was a big waste of time. I think it really derailed a lot of things for the Giants, but you know what? He's mature. He's been around the block. He's a Super Bowl champion now, right? He won with the Rams.
Yep.
So if Harbaugh thinks he can make the Giants better, I'm all for it. So we'll see if he's got a chance to make the team. And the other thing is the Mets went to Chicago, got swept. We knew Friday because that happened right while the show was going on.
Yes.
And then Saturday.
Disaster.
And then yesterday was just not being able to score.
Well, not being able to close the game. Let's start there.
Listen,
the
but
closer
still,
you got is not a closer.
No, listen.
We know this.
There's a lot of issues, all right, with the Mets. But if you think you're going to win at Wrigley, protecting a 1-0 lead, it was just inevitable. They got out of a few jams after they took the 1-0 lead.
Yep.
Every time the Mets, and there hasn't been many times during this losing streak, they've had a lead, they would give it up the very next inning. This one, they took the lead in the 5th and held on to it until the 9th, and then Conforto, the former Met, burns them. Mm-hmm. And then you get the wild pitch with the Manfred man, and once the runner got to third, it was pretty much over from there. All right, so an 11-game losing streak, their longest losing streak since 2004, so it's been 22 years. It's the longest losing streak in baseball since, I think, 2015. And the only team that's ever made the postseason having this long of a losing streak in April was the 51 Giants.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, but I'm tired. I've told you chapter and verse how I'm just tired of hearing about, I'm not giving up on the season. I still have hope.
Well,
okay, fine, have hope, but this wasn't supposed to be another miracle run. This was supposed to be a consistent team, and the only thing they've been consistent at doing is losing. And I thought maybe Mendoza would be fired today, but then I thought about it, and I'm not surprised he wasn't, because you're coming home to take on the Twins, the Rockies, and the Nationals.
Yeah, this is your get-right time.
So there's some wins there. Soto's coming back during this homestand, could be as early as tomorrow, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. And when your biggest problem is offense, and you've played the last 14 games without your best offensive player, you got to give the manager a little bit of slack there. So I think this is a make-or-break homestand, especially if Soto comes back sooner than later. And if you go out there and, a 9-game homestand.
How many you need?
7. You'd like to get 6. Now, the Rockies just took 2 from the Dodgers, so that's not nothing. But listen, the Nationals aren't good. Rockies aren't good. Minnesota's off to a good start, but I don't think anybody believes that they're going to be a really good team. So go out there, take 2 out of 3.
Make you feel
6.
better.
6-3 will make me feel better.
Because what do you know? Is it 7-16?
7-15.
Is it 15? All right,
Yeah.
so 7-15.
And it is. They were talking about it during the broadcast. It's their worst first 21 games since 1983. Okay.
The year before the year.
I believe the 22nd game, they called up Darryl Strawberry. So maybe Soto coming off the IL will be their Darryl Strawberry. And in 1984 they were competing.
Yeah.
85 almost won the division, and then 86 they won the championship.
But doesn't this set up, Don?
So that's the hope there.
I'm not trying to be that guy, I swear. But because what you said last week that's resonated with hundreds of thousands of people, literally, because that's how many views this thing's getting. But you talking about how you want it to be sustained success, why does it always have to be amazing? Why does it always have to be like an out-of-the-blue, incredible kind of thing? But doesn't this kind of set up for that? In a way,
yeah.
Like if I'm looking for the optimism, because there are Mets fans that are just hanging on because it is just April, there's still a ton of baseball left to be played, although the bigger hole you dig, the harder it is to climb out of it. But this is so Mets to make it a year that by August they're at least in it. They might not make it, but they're in it. Wouldn't you say that that's such typical Mets?
Well, that's typical Mets because
all right. So that's why you have optimism if you're a Mets fan. Because, yes, this looks terrible. It looks really bad on Stearns. And the weaknesses that you worried about of this team are all exposed right now. Where's the offense coming from? Because you don't have any real big bats, especially without Soto. Starting pitching, not very good, right? Like all the things you worry about. But because it's the Mets, there's this sense of these are the years they do find a way to climb
because, and this is the narrative that drives me up a wall. Their nickname's amazing. The Amazing Mets. That was something that Casey Stengel would throw out there back in the day. And then, of course, the amazing Miracle Mets of 69 and then the Tug McGraw 73. You got to believe.
Yep.
The Mets have set themselves up. Their character is the underdog. They are the underdog. They're the little engine that could. Mm-hmm. They're the surprise team. And I'm tired of that.
I know.
Because they're not that. They shouldn't be that. They've got the second highest payroll in baseball. They've got an owner that's sitting on $16 billion. They've got a brand-new ballpark. They've got their own network. They're in the biggest city in North America. They've got way more advantages than, I would say, 90% of the teams in Major League Baseball. So this whole idea that everything they do is a miracle run, the gotta-believe Mets, the amazing Mets, stop it. That's not who you are anymore.
Where's Grimace?
All right? Stop.
You need Grimace.
Yeah, the Grimace or the Hawk-Tua girl.
Yep, that's what
Something's going to happen that's going to turn it all around, and it's nice in the moment. Believe me, people misunderstand that I wouldn't enjoy a run if they made it because it's my team, and I'd like to see them do well. But what's frustrating is to what end? Now they go on a run. They have a great second half. They sneak into the playoffs. They win a couple of rounds. What, just so they can finish under 500 next year and then start all over again in 27 and 28 and again and waiting for the next miracle to turn the corner? I'm just tired of being that the kid that those old comic book ads where the big muscular guy kicks dirt in his face and he runs back and works out and then beats him up, Like, I'm tired of being the little underdog. I'm tired of that narrative that exists around the Mets when they have all the advantages and then some compared to all the other teams in Major League Baseball. Stop with the underdog attitude.
All right. So if we're just looking at it, let's look at it now just from the practical standpoint of the roster, okay, and how it was constructed. It's obviously not as simple as reinsert Juan Soto and everything will be fine. It's not going to be that simple. What is the biggest flaw of the roster, and what does David Stearns have to do to fix it before the trade deadline? Because clearly he's got to be looking at the roster and realizing this ain't it.
He's got too many players that can't hit. Now, do I think Bichette will turn it around? Yeah, because I think the back of his baseball card tells me that.
Yeah.
But is Polanco going to rake? Is Simeon going to rake?
Well, Simeon looks cooked.
That's the problem. These are all guys that came off of great offensive years last year, but if you look at their history, they're not great offensive players. They're great defensive players. I think he made certain assumptions offensively, and he figured Soto and Lindor will carry the team. Well, this is a pretty decent sample here where Lindor's a problem. I know always gets off to a slow start. But 1 RBI is a problem as we enter Game 22 of the season. So offense is their problem. I'm not in love with their bullpen. Their starting pitching is okay, not great. But their biggest problem is offense. Now, Soto's going to add to the offense because he's a great offensive player. And they won't lose 11 straight games. They'll get better. But will it be good enough? Remember, sneaking into the playoffs was not the design.
No.
The design was to be a consistent winner, challenge to win this division, be a 90-plus win team. I was listening to Michael driving in. He's like, you got 140 games left in the season. If they go 80 and 60, or 60 and what was the number?
80 and 60.
80 and 60.
Yeah.
They'll win 87 games.
Well, that's 20 games over 500.
But, 87 games, who knows if they're going to be able to do that. But 87 games being the second or third wild card and sneak it in, and that's not how it was supposed to be designed. But I'll take it. If that's what they're going to give me, I'll take it. But just understand my frustration that that's not the lack of stability is such a major problem for this team, and I'm just so sick and tired of that whole narrative, and all the Met fans buy into. Oh, you got to believe! Come on, it's too early. We're gonna get this done. Don't stop. You living in that mentality of the little engine that could, the underdog, when you should be the bulldog on the block, right? And you're not.
So they're not making a manager change, at least not now, right?
Right.
So because they would have done it today.
Today would have been the day. Yes.
Now, obviously,
makes no sense for it to be tomorrow.
Of course not. It's the off day. You do have a homestand, and it's a relatively soft schedule. Although, again, the audacity of you saying it's a soft schedule, but
you got the worst record in baseball.
You're also not playing the Dodgers and like some of the the heavy hitters of the league.
Yeah.
And so, is it still on the table though if they can't get this thing right, even with Soto coming back? That's the first move you make, or is it up to David Stearns to say, no, we got the right manager. I didn't build the right roster, and I've got to start figuring this out. No one's going to help him, that's for damn sure, because you've got some contracts. But
you let all of his lieutenants go.
You can't not do anything.
Right? So you've got all these new assistant coaches,
yes,
which is always a shot at the manager.
First shot.
When it happens.
Right.
So I can't imagine he would survive. Let's say Soto doesn't come back, and they get swept by Minnesota. Now we're talking about a 14-game losing streak.
Oh, my God.
No, you got to do something.
At some point.
At that point.
At some point,
listen,
McLean's got to have a shutdown. Like, somebody's got to do something.
Somebody has to do something, and you got to start winning. You should run into a win here
there you
or
go.
there.
Right. Which I thought that was yesterday.
And, again, I understand that, firing the manager, sometimes you just do what you got to do. And I'm not saying it's all his fault, but it's an easy thing to change. And all these players that are coming to his support, which is another reason why I think he still has a job. Lindor comes to his support. Everybody, it's not the manager's fault. Okay, well, then go play for him. Go out there and win for him.
Yeah.
And if you're going to tell me it's not his fault and then get swept by Minnesota, well, then whose fault is it? I can't get rid of all the players. There's a lot of contracts I can't move, and I've already gotten rid of most of these players from last year. So it ends up being the only thing you can do in that moment.
The next thing you do, again, this is again from a media standpoint, is now Lindor's got to be in the crosshairs. You're supposed to be the de facto leader here, right? You're supposed to be that guy.
I don't know what's true and what's not true.
He's still making mental errors. He still doesn't.
No, he's
there's something not right about him.
He's not right.
But if you're not the one, if you're not the one leading the way, and galvanizing the room into just saying, "Hey, we've got to get a win no matter what today."
Mm-hmm.
Like, who is going to be that? Because this continues to be, to me, a problem of leadership, whether it's in the organization or in that clubhouse.
Yeah, for sure, no question. Calls 1-800-919-3776. Steve Novak's going to join us at 4 o'clock. Lots of Knicks to get to. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're here, Plaza 33, outside Madison Square Garden. Take you right up till 7 o'clock in our coverage of Knicks Hawks right here on ESPN New York.
Text TIP to 215215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text TIP to 215215. That's TIP to 215215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Join DiPietro and Rothenberg this Thursday night for a special couch cast of Round 1 of the NFL Draft, presented by Calandra's Bakery. The Jets and Giants now have 4 picks in the top 16, and Rick and Dave will react live as the first round unfolds. Plus, the guys will also react in real time to Game 3 of the Knicks-Hawks series. Catch it all in this YouTube-only exclusive, and it's all from Calandra's Bakery and ESPN New York.
There's a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 2026 Mazda CX-30 2.5 S all-wheel drive for $219 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN TM133469. MSRP $28,065. Zero security deposit. Ends 4/30/26. Steve Novak will be here in just a little bit, but let's get to the calls at 1-800-919-3776. And let's start it off with Tessa in West Caldwell. You're on Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. How are you, dear?
Hey, well, not too well, Don. Thank you so much, guys, for taking my call. I appreciate it. And I'm going to just be really honest with you guys. I'm not speaking from a realistic fan right now, from a fan that's looking like, hey, bright future for us, hey, draft picks 5 and 10. I'm going to handle that on Thursday and be excited from that. Right now I'm speaking as a disgruntled, devastated, salty, mad as hell fan. I just want to start out with that. So, again, I know what the brighter picture and the bigger picture is, but I'm not ready to deal with that yet. Maybe on Thursday I definitely will. I just don't understand. Like you said, Don, it was complete, utter shock. Because I'm like, there's no way they trading Dex. Like, are you kidding me? This going to be his comeback year. I'm thinking that because in my mind, where did this come from? You played with us in the trenches when we were below bottom. We were straight, down the hell in the demon layer. That's how trash we were. And you was in the trenches balling for us. You got hurt, a very bad injury. You wasn't your best last year. Why'd you take it personal when Carl Banks called you out? You were playing mid. And that's give you a compliment saying mid. You was playing like trash. Why couldn't you ball out this year and play? What did we do to you? We didn't do anything. So for me, it's I'm so upset because, number one, I got 4 Dex jerseys in my closet. Number two, why did you do us like that? I could care less about them dusty kitty cats in Cincinnati. I don't care nothing about them. You know what I'm saying? But what I do care about is, why he just do us like this? Are you that jealous of Leonard and Love and Saquon? What are you doing? So for me, it's where did this come from? He never even, I understand he was upset last year because of the flack that he was getting for his play, but he never made it seem like you were that disgusted and you're never playing for us ever again in life. I'm just upset as a fan because he's a really good guy on the field and off the field. Now he's talking garbage a little bit now that he was Cincinnati, but whatever. But I'm just really upset. I feel like nobody is saved. I feel like everybody could get traded now. I'm not joking, guys. I feel like why should I buy a jersey? Because that guy could be gone next season.
Right.
I just don't even know what to do. Like I said, I'm gonna get a grip and not want to bash my head against the wall by Thursday because I'm gonna be excited for this 5th and 10th pick. But for right now, guys, I'm just in my feelings. I'm just so upset. He was a dynamic guy and a dynamic player. And I understand you had a down year, but you had time. You should have just played it out this year. So then next year, maybe you could have commanded the money you wanted. Like Don said, now next year you will be in the same boat up there in Cincinnati.
But
I'm trying to figure out who you're mad at, Tess. You said you were disgruntled.
I'm really mad at Dex. I am.
Okay,
I'm not really mad at the Giants no more. When I heard that, I'm really mad at Dex, guys. I really am.
You invested in him. You bought jerseys, the whole thing. And then just when things seem to be getting right, especially with a guy like John Harbaugh, he's like, nah, I'm done. I want out. And
he want to bail out.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. That's why I say I got to see how this ages, man.
Yeah,
I don't think this is going to age well for him.
I am not taking his side, but I think the way he looked at it is, Saquon Barkley, who he was close with, goes to Philadelphia, wins a ring. He was close with Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams goes to Seattle after his stint with the Jets, wins a ring. He's thinking, I'm seeing these guys that I was at war with with this Giant team, doing all that losing, they got out and they got theirs. I want to get mine. And now he's got a chance to do that in Cincinnati. Now, will he fall in line with Barkley and Leonard Williams and win the ring? Or is he going to be on a team that will make the playoffs, get bounced early, and then be looking for another contract again? Fact is, he didn't want to be here. And I think that's the reason. I don't agree with it, but he made his bed, and the Giants have to move on. And they got offered something that nobody in a million years thought they'd get offered.
Oh, my God.
10th overall pick in the draft. And they took it.
And Cincinnati's telling you they're about now.
And they have to be.
Pick, they're looking at it like a 10th pick's not going to help us right now.
Hey.
Because what are they trying to do? What were we teasing a lot, even though it felt like a shot in the dark, right? But what were we teasing about Cincinnati? Because what did Joe Burrow look like at the end of last season? Remember some of those press conferences he had?
Wanted out.
Where he just had that hangdog look on his face, and he looked disillusioned. The last thing they want is to have him do a Carson Palmer and say, you know what, I'm never going to win here.
That's probably what was going to happen.
So they're
another 6-7 win season, and he was going to go to management and say, get me out of here. Now he sees that they go out and get a premier defensive player, a need.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, because the other thing is they don't spend a lot of money.
Nope.
And the contract that they gave him, he's going to want another one if he goes out there and has a great season.
Well, if you think about it, $28 million versus what Trey got from Baltimore is probably for them okay.
Right.
We'd rather pay that.
But if it keeps their quarterback happy and keeps him in Cincinnati for a few more years, it's probably worth it to him.
I don't know if you're keeping that guy happy.
Let's go to Dave in Westchester. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Dave?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Just a couple of comments about the Giants. I'm a big Giant fan. I'm pretty damn upset that Dexter's not there. I don't know what the heck they're doing. They should have just renegotiate and give him the damn money he wants, and that's the end of it. But it's over with for now. So I'm not looking for Jeremiah Love. I don't want him. I don't want a wide receiver. No way. I'm looking for the two linebackers will be gone. So I want Skiles or Downs, and then with I'm begging, but they won't even pick him. I'm wishing that Bain will be there by pick number 10.
10?
Horrible offensive. We can't stop the rush. And in the second round, I'd go for a great offensive line or a good offensive lineman. We've already won 4 Super Bowls. We don't need O.J. Simpson. I know you're going to throw the Saquon Barkley baloney at me. Okay, you don't need Earl Campbell. You don't need all these other guys. We've won Super Bowls with
that's the Giants' identity, Dave. But Dave, the Giants' identity is always about defense.
That's the way Harbaugh wants to play.
It's linebacker play. It's winning at the line of scrimmage. That's all the stuff that he would want. That's why Downs makes the most sense.
I mean, the second.
But I don't know at 5, but it makes the most sense.
The second pick is this. I mean, the second point is real quick. Is that he's not going to Harbaugh's not dumb enough to let this guy just ruin the team. I have a really good friend who's an NBA agent who loves Odell Beckham Jr. Loved him when he first came in. This guy created nothing but trouble, nothing but havoc, and got hurt all the time. Did all these wacky things. I don't want him anywhere near. I don't want him anywhere near the club. I don't care what he looks like.
He's not that guy anymore.
I'm with you. Yeah. I'm good on Odell.
I'm just going to say he's not that guy anymore.
But if Harbaugh thinks he can help, then I'll trust him. But I'm kind of with you. I was never a fan. I think he's older. I think he's more mature. But at this point, I just don't think it's worth the aggravation. But the one thing he said I completely disagree with. Give him whatever he wants. That's not the way good organizations do business. Give Dexter Lawrence whatever he wants. No, he's coming off a miserable year. He was hurt. He's going to be 30, and he's under contract. So I think the Giants are more like, really? You want to renegotiate now after that year? So the whole idea, give him whatever he wants. Remember, Yankee fans will give DJ LeMahieu whatever he wants. Bring him back. And then they did, and you were cursing Cashman out for giving him the money. That's never a way to do business. You want a good show? You want to talk Knicks?
Oh, man.
Steve Novak. He's going to be joining us next. He was part of that 13 team, the 154
Did he bring
games.
the belt? Did he bring the belt, the championship belt?
Bing bong! What do you think?
I don't think he brought it, but if you gave him a basketball, I guarantee you he'd hit a 3.
All right. We're going to talk to him coming up next. We are live here at Plaza 33 outside Madison Square Garden, getting ready for the Knicks and the Hawks. It's on! Don Hahn and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
Knicks fans, it's time to hit the court with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. Download the BetMGM app today and add a boost of excitement to every New York game day with same-day parlays, live betting options, player props, boosted odds specials, and the best daily promotions in the business. With the BetMGM app at your fingertips, you can experience the excitement of betting on your favorite players and get in on all the blue and orange action as your New York Knicks drive the lane. Find out why basketball fans love BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Gambling problem in New York? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
Evan Cohen here. You know the feeling when a candidate just stands out. Not just the resume, but their energy. They're eager, engaged, and you know they want the role. That makes a difference. If you're hiring, you want a candidate who's passionate, but you can't get that insight from a resume unless you post your job on ZipRecruiter. Their matching technology finds qualified candidates fast, and ZipRecruiter has a new feature that shows you the most interested qualified candidates first. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/sports. That's ZipRecruiter.com/sports.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time,
It's time.
We are here because of Game 2 between the Knicks and the Hawks right here at Madison Square Garden. Coverage immediately following us on 880 at 7 o'clock. The Yankees and the Mets have the day off. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. It is always a pleasure to talk to Steve Novak. As I
I was
jacket down.
I think Steve might need your jacket because he's out here. This is, again, Wisconsin guy. He's like, this isn't cold. You guys don't know cold in New York. He's got a little quarter zip on, just chilling.
Are you cold?
It was a little wishful. I feel like that's how we act in Wisconsin. We're like, if you don't pack a lot, if you go shorts, it'll just warm up.
Oh, sure.
I'm wrong. I didn't know you were going to have the tent. You were going to block all the sun. Look, you're not even using your jacket. I tried to
No, because I was out there in the sun. Then I came back in the shade. Now I'm cold again.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'll fight through it.
It's
I'm with
hot.
a professional athlete.
It's hot in the garden. All right, we'll go with that. And the wind did just stop when I said that. You felt that?
I did. Well, yeah. Keep saying it. Keep saying it. Well, like, I felt the same thing. Like, as far as in the garden, there was the anticipation, and then Jalen Brunson starts the game off the way he does, which is what a way to set a tone, right?
Yeah.
But overall, though, your sense coming out of that game Saturday night was what?
I have to admit it was a more relief, I feel like, than anything. And I don't think that comes from a place of not believing in the team. I think it's just what's gone on over the last season where there's a coaching change, where there's the pressure to continue to perform, the expectations. It's like, yeah, game one doesn't matter for all of these series. There's other teams that have lost. And you go like, oh, they're going to be all right to be able to battle back. But I think we know what it looks like when it doesn't go well. And even if it does get back on the rails, there were 3-game losing streaks during the season this year that it just seemed like the sky was falling. And I don't think if Game 1 was lost, we would be talking the same way as we are today. And so it was relief because this team, I think more than anything, performed the way, as we watched almost all of this season, I think they played like who I think we knew they were.
Well, Steve, I brought it up on Friday. In the history of this organization, when they lose Game 1 at home of a series, they lose the series.
Yeah.
Every time. Now, I don't know if you're, as a player, conscious of that stat, but that's why I thought Game 1 was so big, because history tells you that. Now, Allen countered by saying different players, different team.
Yeah.
But when there's that kind of history and it leaks into the room, do you think about that?
I think you do it. And I do think that the playoff series psychology and the mentality of going through a playoff series, you experience it as a fan, but I think especially as a player where if you're down 2-0, you're starting to think the sky is falling, the series is over if you're on the wrong side of that. And you've seen it so many times where that's not the case at all, where teams come back. But I do think that in this case, because this team is built to perform like veterans, to be the more mature team, they've earned home court advantage, they've got the guys that have proven it all. But I do think you're also going against a team that won, 20-6, Atlanta is, since All-Star. Mm-hmm. And so I think you just look at stats like that. You look at some of the defensive matchups and what they even did in that game with some of the small pick and rolls and getting to space and trying to figure out what is the cheat code in the matchup. And I think seeing all of that already happen in one game and seeing the adjustments that happened at halftime and the responses, the 10-point run in the third quarter for the Knicks, I think to me that was almost like 5 or 7 games of movements, of adjustments that are very telling of who this group is, how focused they are, the desperation, but also I think just they understand what this moment feels like. It feels like.
It's the information gathering, right, that they were able to do it. The halftime adjustments by Mike Brown and the staff was very impressive because they did really flip the game in that second half. Now, for those who might not remember or might not know, Steve Novak, not just a former Knick, he's also a current broadcaster. So he's done a lot of games on MSG. He's watched this team a lot, and one of the things that we all remember you and the time you were here was part of Mobb Deep, part of that bench that was really so good and so effective. I thought the bench minutes in Game 1 were notable because in the first half, the Knicks took control of the game. In the second half, they basically ended the game with those bench minutes. Is that could that be a difference maker in an early round series?
Absolutely. I mean, I think if you think about one thing that Mike Brown has brought to this team, it hasn't been playing guys in the playoffs. It has been keeping guys in the rotation, trying different things, experimenting to get to the point that
giving everybody a chance, right?
Giving guys a chance, but also I think back to when I was a player, when I was on teams that were really good, and I could have for sure been sad. I'm thinking back to the San Antonio Spurs when I was playing for Coach Popovich, and there's Tony and Timmy and Manu. He kept me in the rotation. He kept guys like Matt Bonner playing big minutes. He kept, I could name Chris Quinn playing a bunch of minutes just in case. You never know what you're going to need, and guys are in rhythm. And look, now there's 9 guys played for the Knicks. Jordan Clarkson was as good as out of the rotation a few months ago. He plays in Utah, has 27 points.
Yep.
He starts cooking. He becomes a defensive juggernaut, picking up guys full court. Reminded me of Rafer Alston out there just sliding his feet. But to your point, he stayed engaged the whole season. He's had a huge impact. You think about Deuce being back healthy, obviously, thankfully.
How big were those threes when he hit them in the fourth? He needed to see those go down, right? How big was that in the moment?
Huge in the moment, and huge, I think, because you have to think he is still getting his legs back still a little bit. So his movement and Chandry's movement, I honestly don't even think it's about if they make shots. It's the Mikal Bridges making shots and the OG Anunoby's making shots that are going to be, if they don't, it's going to be a problem. But Landry's movement, his transition, Deuce's movement, and his speed in transition, it's just that's what feels to me like, boy, those guys are going, Landry's and the Deuces, and Jordan Clark's, throw them in there, are going to win a game in the short term in the playoffs, because it's not going to always be able to be your star. It's not going to always be Jalen and Cat, who are combining for, 63 points. And so I can't wait to see when it's Deuce going off for 25 or Shamet going off for 25.
Which we know they can. Like we've seen it.
They're going to need to. Someone's going to need to. It's going to happen.
So with all that said, is Saturday an example on why Tibbs isn't here?
Boy, no, I don't think specifically. I think we're looking at a different team and a different season, a year more matured, and I think you can do the speculating on both ends of it. What does it look like this year if he was still here, and what does it look like if he's not? I do think, though, that the clear difference as you look at the full season of statistics, you look at the engagement of more guys on the team. And I think there was a willingness to experiment, to try to figure out where are your weapons. And as a guy, I think maybe it's a personal thing, who always was trying to play for a coach who saw your strengths and said, that's what you're going to do for us. We're going to pay you millions of dollars to do what you do for us. We're not going to sit you because there's things that you don't do. I played for Coach Thibodeau. I wasn't a good enough defender to play for him when I played for him under Van Gundy, and Thibodeau was the assistant. And I tried to make the Bulls, and I worked out for him. And I said, hey, I know Scalabrini and these other guys are trying to be camp contracts too. You think I'm going to be able to make it? He said, no, probably not. No, and
Direct.
He didn't say it. It was a few more words, but
okay.
That was pretty much.
Can you imagine? Hey, you think I can make this? Nope.
No.
But I appreciated that we were getting pretty much, all right, probably should go try to make another team. And I think my point is there is an empowerment. Hey, Jordan Clarkson, I'm going to keep you around and active enough when I'm not playing you to know you're going to get back in there. I'm going to put you in the mix. And when you do earn the opportunity, you might be able to be in the playoff rotation and win us some games and have a big impact. So I do love seeing that. And I do love seeing guys, I think, even the Koliks and Dottie, the performances they had throughout the year that happened because I think everybody knew it was possible.
Everybody had a moment, right? And that's something that Jordan Clarkson had said to me. He's like 1 through 15, like we all are ready because we know we have to be ready. Yeah. And it's kind of what I'm alluding to when I talk about your experience here, because you were on a team that now has several Hall of Famers on it, that 54-win team.
Yeah.
And it's still, that bench had a value to it. And I wonder if there is, because it's something Clarkson did say to me, if there is this mentality of like, okay, we've got superstars that can carry us, but I don't want to be the reason why not. Like, does that ever enter into not to think negatively, but just to say, like, I need to stay on point because I don't want to be put in a situation where it's my miss or my not being locked in is the reason why we lost a game that cost us a series. I don't want to be the reason why not.
I think it's a great observation, and I think to me that observation speaks to they realize they actually might be asked to take that big shot. It's not. There's teams where I'm not getting asked to take that shot because that guy's shooting the ball, make or miss, he thinks it's his, and he's earned the right and all those things. It's not coming this way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love the fact that, to your point, there's guys on this team that are feeling like if I'm the open guy and we're running the offense in the last few minutes of a huge game and the ball finds the right guy, that right guy, and you continue to hear Cat always say this, I don't care who gets the glory, I don't care who gets the shine, we just got to get the win. And I think that there is a buy-in to that concept that resonates in the locker room, and guys are going, I better stay sharp, I better stay ready. And I think when they see their teammates or themselves have those opportunities, the Tyler Koliks, the Jordan Clarksons, you can go on and on, I think it really is an empowering difference versus being on a team or on a roster where guys get buried, they kind of go away, they don't think they need to get ready, and it hurts them. And I think it's the same as you could pick offenses that are like that, where the ball is a move.
Yeah.
You're not very empowered. And you might touch it next. You're cutting different.
Yeah.
You're passing different. And so I do. It feels like in every season there's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of, you're spending every moment together. Guys hate each other at times. No, I think it's the reality.
I think you're right.
And I don't think this team is unique in that. That's what families are like. And at that same time, it does feel like there's a common prime age that this group is in. There's a common desperation this group has. I think there's a recognition of what this franchise is, what they're playing. This group doesn't mean they're going to win a championship automatically.
But they understand it.
But it feels like they understand. And game one, not to be dramatic, I think was very telling that they didn't let an opportunity slip. They had 2 weeks off, which I think is so difficult. People talk about it. But I don't think they realize how hard it is to have 2 weeks off versus a team that's in the play-in. We're not playing a play-in team, but I just think that it's telling that they kept themselves at ready, came out and Jalen made his first 6 shots. Team went, what was 8 for 9.
Yeah, and the building was just...
And it's rocking, and that changes the game. I think it was awesome.
Talking to Steve Novak, getting ready for Knicks-Hawks Game 2. Coverage right here on 880 ESPN New York, beginning after our show at 7 o'clock. You know, we argue about it all the time about the regular season. Oh, well, don't worry about losing 3 games to Detroit because they weren't showing them everything. Oh, but let's celebrate the fact that they did take 3 out of 4 from Boston. Like, how do you as a player kind of divvy up what means something and what doesn't mean something in the regular season?
I think a lot of times when you're on the roster, you kind of know what's stirring internally, what the team is feeling like. And so there are games where you go, we didn't play well in that one, but you kind of know there's a reason or two here or a reason or two there. I think there are matchups that terrify you. I think when you're also internal and you know you lost, like you said, 3 times or 4 times to a team, and you think to yourself, we were fresh, we were ready, we were full strength, and we came into it, everybody was locked in, and we lost. And I think, and so you don't maybe always say that out loud to everybody, so they know, like, boy, that was a problem. Mm-hmm. But I also think that the reality in the NBA is when the playoffs come, the best players, the best teams, the best executives, they all know, whether it's ever said out loud or not, this is what it's all about. And the best teams that say we don't care who we face, if we're the 1 seed or the 8 seed, if we're really truly aspiring to win a championship, we're going to have to beat everybody. Mm-hmm. I think this Knicks team is obviously one of those teams where they don't care if they're the 1, 2, 3, or 8. They know that they're playing for finals or bust. And so I do think that there's a full flush of the regular season at this point. And I think whether you beat a team all 4 times or you lost to them each time, I think you know how you've been playing the last stretch since All-Star, and that's really what you lean on. And I think those are the games that you look at post-All-Star. If there were games where you know you were locked in and you know everybody was full strength and you couldn't get it done, you come in with a little pit in your stomach. And obviously whether or not that team's really good enough to beat you again versus that pit being the difference and what makes you guys so focused is what I think makes this time of year so fun. You see teams be great against other teams in the playoffs that they stunk against in the regular season, and it's amazing what I think guys at this level are capable of as far as
to take that step,
taking that step when it matters.
That regular season to playoff jump is different, and for young players, they don't realize it until they experience it. So you've mentioned the different coaches you've played for throughout your career, and I'm wondering if any of it was as fun as playing in the D'Antoni system. And when you watch today's game, and it does feel like everybody kind of does the high screen rolls, spread the floor, the corner 3 thing. Yeah. Like everybody is playing this way.
Yeah.
And for you as a guy that was a deadly catch and shoot 3-point shooter at 6'10", that nobody could really block it. Like, just talk about being in that system back then when that was still a novelty in the NBA. People really weren't putting up a lot of threes. But you, JR, like that group you guys would bring in, and some of these games that you guys would just start bombing away from downtown, how much fun was that in comparison to other systems?
I'll tell you a quick story. I was just in Detroit yesterday. I was in a Sprinter van. We had a little AAU trip with my 15-year-old son. Rent the Sprinter. They're watching playoff games in the back as we're driving down.
Wow.
It was awesome,
That's
by the
nice.
way.
It's nice to have money.
It's like PJ on wheels, yeah. And my buddy who I'm
PJ on wheels.
That's the kids, not if you're driving like me, but if you're in the back.
Yeah, they had fun.
They had a great time. My buddy's he's sitting co-captain with me. He asked me, what was the most fun you ever had playing basketball? And I think back to playing high school ball. My dad was my coach. My brother was my teammate.
Oh, yeah.
Made a trip up to state, thinking about Final Four run when I was at Marquette. D. Wade's my teammate. Guys like Travis Diener, awesome teams. Getting drafted, playing with all these all-stars. My answer was, it was playing for the Knicks for Mike D'Antoni. He said, well, what was it about? I said, and specifically, it was Linsanity. For me to be able to prove myself is what every NBA player that's not a super all-star that's given the ball and given the keys right when they walk in the door is what they're aspiring to. But it's not just because, he played good. It was because, to your point, we were allowed. Mike D'Antoni would say, I don't care how many points your guy scores, as long as you score more points than him.
The ultimate defense.
Well, no, and you just we were talking about empowering earlier,
yeah.
And the reality was I was told so many times, when I played for Tom Thibodeau, I played for Jeff Van Gundy. Not to their fault. That was the teams that they built and the systems that they loved and what they knew would be successful.
Right, but it was the reverse mentality.
Yes.
Is you'll have bad shooting nights, but as long as you play defense, you'll get over that. And Mike was like, no, outscore the other team. That's the whole idea. I don't care how much they get as long as we get more.
You heard it. The post-game press conferences were the best. He would say, we lost by 6. We make 2 more shots.
Yeah.
It's a totally different. And you're like, Mike, you feel it feels like you're oversimplifying.
We make 2 more, not take away 2. It's always He was all about offense, all about it, and that was a different time. If you have to understand that, like 2008, 9, like 7 was his sons. That was the 7 seconds or less.
Yeah,
people weren't playing that way yet. Nobody really caught on to it. It was still low scoring, grinded out, physical defense, and when he brought that here, and then especially once they got talent here, like we'd never seen any offense like that until this year's offense.
Yeah. No,
and it feels like the whole league now plays that way, 15 years later.
Yeah. It's, one of the stats that still just blows my mind is you look just maybe 10 minutes, maybe 12 years back now, there was not a team in the NBA making, I think it's maybe 12 years ago, there was not a team making more than 10 3-pointers per game.
It's crazy.
And now in the league, there's not a team, the 30th ranked 3-point shooting team is making more than 10 threes per game.
Yeah.
It's just such a big shift, and the analytics are all obviously over talked about and over explained, but the side that you're talking about is it was fun basketball. It was the question I was asking me, what was the most fun that you ever played?
Yeah.
The court was spread and we're banging down shots.
Is there one moment? I mean, you've done a few discount double checks on that Garden floor, but was there one moment where even you had like an out-of-body experience like this is insane?
I think, insanity as a whole truly was.
Yeah.
You kept
but
thinking.
I mean for you, because insanity for everybody was insane.
And just because I remember truly, genuinely thinking after we look back at that package of games with insanity, each one I thought, oh my God, that was amazing. Like, that's too bad that's over.
Yeah.
And then the next game would happen. You were like, oh, that was amazing.
Right.
That's
Laker game, then Toronto happens, and you're like, wait. It gets better?
That's over.
Yeah.
And then, it just went on and on. And so for me, it was for sure Sunday afternoon against the Dallas Mavericks. It was the first time I ever did the belt. And it was because the Dallas Mavericks the year before, they had cut me because Caron Butler blew his knee out. They signed Peja Stojakovic. They might have gone on to win a world championship that year. And I was in my feelings a little, and then I got hot here at the Garden.
So they took the ring right off your finger, didn't they?
Took the ring off my finger, and I never intended to do the belt. That's how it came out. But to get hot against those guys and to be able to, at all the same time, it kind of snowballed into that season with Linsanity.
I thought the first time you did it was Rodgers was it at? I thought Rodgers was at a game. Aaron Rodgers, because it was an homage to him, was it not?
It was certainly an homage to him.
And I thought he was at a game and you did it and he loved it. Like he went up and went crazy. So it wasn't that. It was Dallas. Okay.
Yeah, it was Dallas. If he was there, then I was focused. I didn't even know he was there. No, it was definitely an homage to him. Sometimes I would see on my Twitter when I was playing, he stole it from Aaron Rodgers. I said, no, I'm a Packer fan. I said, I love Aaron Rodgers. I said, this is an homage.
And Rodgers loved it. He loved that you did it.
I tweeted, I love it. I saw him at the Kentucky Derby the year I did it. And he said, hey, I love the belt. Keep it up.
Nice.
I said, no more Twitter comments. I said, Aaron Rodgers said he likes it.
So as long as he endorses it, everything's good.
That's right.
What was it like playing with Melo?
I feel like he gets a lot of flack from people. People ask me, and I can see they're like, why didn't you like playing with him? And I that's just
people ask you, why didn't you like playing with him?
I feel like when people say, how was it playing with Melo? I feel like they're saying, like, what didn't you like about it? Did he shoot too much?
Yeah.
Did he ever pass you the ball? I think I have to, blow a little smoke. I think stars love playing with me. I hang out in the corner. I'm not taking their shots. I don't dribble. I don't turn the ball over. Melo was like, you get the ball when you get the ball, and I was good with it too.
Yeah.
So I loved playing with him.
And you knew what to do with it when you got it.
Yeah.
Shoot it.
Well, the reason I asked you
right?
is because I found him to be, as a talk show host during that time,
a
very polarizing figure in the sense that all the callers wanted him gone. You can't win a championship with Melo. But yet you go to a game, and it was electric when he was on.
Yes.
And now fans want his number retired.
Yeah.
So was it like that for you, where you kind of understood that there were like two ends of the spectrum from a fan's perspective with him?
I'll be honest, I never tried to ever understand the fan's perspective.
Smart.
No, I mean that.
Make yourself crazy.
Well, yeah, and I would just speak to he was the gravity that he had from my perspective as his teammate, as a guy who also wanted space. Seeing the double teams that he demanded, seeing the defensive schemes that were put around him, to see a guy like that be successful in the post, in the mid-range, with contact, from three, all those things, you just have such a respect for a guy like that. I feel like we get a really up-close glimpse as teammates to guys like that of what they go through, of what it takes. And so it was more for me like, hey, when you're passing me the ball, there's extra juice on it because you're passing me the ball. Like, the defenses are around you, and I know you can just shoot it if you want to double team anyway. And so I think about guys like him that didn't get enough credit for that, guys like Tracy McGrady, who I played with early in my career, who played like that, would put the ball on a rope. He'd get the double teams. He would
McGrady was ridiculously good and doesn't nearly get enough credit for that. You saw, and this is the last one for me, you saw the Melo Amari dynamic, right? The two superstars, and how it was very interesting how they rarely played off each other. It was always sort of your turn, my turn kind of stuff going on there. With Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, it had been a lot of that in the first year and a half.
Yeah.
Recently, they started putting them in action together, started playing them together off each other. Towns looks much happier. And like Quinn Snyder says from the Hawks, it's basically pick your poison.
Yeah.
Is you got to make a choice when you're running off a screen or whatever it's going to be, because Towns is a good passer and we know Brunson can score on anybody. How important is that dynamic of two stars that can actually not play separate of each other but play off each other, and the success that we have seen at least short term so far with this looks really interesting.
Really interesting, because it is that compounding nature of team basketball, and in this case two-man game basketball, that makes you so much better than five guys.
Yeah.
It is. I think, and to your point specifically about the Jalen and Cat two-man game, is one thing that is so clear when you listen to these guys post-game, when you're around them a little more closely. They're both so desperate to win and do it the right way. Their willingness to make it work. I've been around, like the Melo and Amari, they were kind of running their own lanes.
Yeah.
And I've been with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma City.
Great example.
They're running their own lanes.
Yep.
But they're right now with Jalen and Cat, there's a different desperation to make it work. And I think if you want it bad enough, when you look at their skill sets, which that's a big piece of it, you can want it as bad as you want. But if you don't have any perimeter shooting and you're a five-man, Cat does.
Yeah.
It might not work. They have that skill set. I think Jalen's proven to be able to draw a double team and a willing passer. Cat is a great passer and a great outside shooter. For it not to work would be a shock if they wanted to. And so, to your point, didn't happen perfect the whole way. But if it's going to happen, I guess now's a great time for it to really be at its peak. That's what you're looking for.
By the way, he's 6'10", right? And they call Towns the best shooting big man in the history of the sport. Now, if you're 6'10", I think you're a big man. Like, he tries to get away with being a wing. But would you ever want to get it? Come on, Cat. Let's go shot for shot.
If I played more minutes, I might talk more shit. But no, I like it. I'll let you say it. I would never say that. Go ahead, Alan. Go ahead. 6'10".
Listen, 6'10", you're not a wing. You're a big man. You're 6'10".
I know. I don't know. You're
right.
Like
you and like Durant. Durant doesn't want to be 6'11" either. He's another one. He's like, nah, I'm not that tall.
You're right.
Yes, you are.
So Durant's probably even taller than me, so I still am only in second at best, I guess. Even if I beat out Cat.
You'll take second.
I'll take second.
Steve, thanks for this. I really appreciate it.
Great to be on. Stay warm out here. It's a little brisk.
We'll try.
It is.
Hopefully we'll have you on again during the course of this run.
I would love that.
Appreciate it. And love the work, too, that you're doing off the court as well.
Appreciate
Steve Novak. More calls. 1-800-919-3776 on the Knicks. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg take able to 7 o'clock. Then it's Knicks Hawks here on ESPN New York, but we've got Wings End.
Yes, we
Rings
do.
End.
Well, Rings too, yeah, because by the way, we made a change in the project at the house, everybody. I'll get into more details of it as the week goes on, but it is still something we are excited about. We had the contractor over yesterday, and he told me right away, who are you working with? I said, Rings End. He goes, oh, perfect. You know why? Because they trust them. The pro contractors trust them, and that means I can too. So Rings End, they have extensive inventory of built-to-last high-end product lines that contractors rely on. They do it right, so they don't have to do it over. Rings End has showrooms with products you can touch and feel so you can know exactly what you're getting. That's important, too. And by the way, if you can't make it to the store, you can shop online at ringsend.com. They're not a national chain. Regional expertise. 8 full-service lumber yards in Connecticut and Westchester County, and 12 freestanding paint centers. Rings End, family-owned and operated since 1902. That's right, 124 years in business. So go to ringsend.com, everybody. That's ringsend.com.
The Knicks.
In the lane with 2. Floater at the horn is good and rattled in. 19 first quarter points for Brunson.
The Hawks.
Deuce off the dribble. Buries a 3. Deuce McBride came to play in the fourth quarter.
The NBA playoffs.
All the way to the rim. Right hand bank shot and a foul. Karl Anthony Towns is taken over.
Game 2 coverage gets underway tonight at 7 on 880 and the ESPN New York app.
Partner with Amazon Hub Delivery to earn extra revenue for your business with your business. Assist with local Amazon deliveries and get paid for each package you deliver. When you become a partner, you and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area on a schedule that works for you. You'll gain extra revenue, increase exposure for your business, and connect with your neighbors. Plus, it's easy to get started with no delivery experience, long-term contracts, or startup costs required. If you're interested in learning more, visit Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. That's Amazon.com/HUB Delivery.
New York Knicks fans, here's a total slam dunk. For a limited time, new Verizon Mobile and home customers can get Fios and a line of mobile for just $69.99 a month with AutoPay. Get Fios 300 megabits per second for $20 a month and unlimited welcome for $50 a month plus taxes and fees when you bring your own phone. Visit a Verizon store today to learn more. For new Fios Internet and mobile customers, discounts applied over 36 months. Mobile and home discount enrollment required. Additional terms apply. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
Harry Douglas here. Game day brings the excitement. Your stay should feel just as memorable. With Marriott Bonvoy, official hotel partner of the NCAA and U.S. Soccer, you're connected to a portfolio of brands designed for how you travel. Some offer complimentary breakfast, others give you room to spread out, space to stay productive, or extended stay comforts. So whether you're a traveling fan or part of the team, Marriott Bonvoy celebrates the moments that live on before and after the game. Marriott Bonvoy, where game day checks in.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. Ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks so much, guys. Not an easy ride trying to leave Queens and head into Nassau County. First on the LIE eastbound by Little Neck Parkway, a broken down pickup with its hood up in the right lane. Add that to the volume. You're bumper to bumper from the BQE on through. Not much better on the Northern State eastbound. A crash in the left lane by Lakeville Road. Delays go back onto the eastbound Grand Central. You're hitting the brakes there from Kew Gardens. Best of it's the outbound George, southbound Deegan and Henry Hudson. Cross Bronx westbound slam from White Plains Road on through. Inbound George just about 5 to 10 for both the upper and lower decks. Outbound Lincoln Orania 5 to 10. Outbound Holland 10 to 15. This report is sponsored by the Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? While the PCA can help, it's a national nonprofit developing better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. More info at positivecoach.org. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 2026 Mazda CX-5 2.5S all-wheel drive for $249 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN T0102819. MSRP $33,675. Zero security deposit. Ends 4/30/26.
Harry Douglas here. Let me ask you something. What if you can enjoy the taste of a cocktail, the warmth of a spirit, and still stay fully in control? That's RK Zero Proof, a pioneer in the alcohol-free spirits category. RK delivers bold flavor and a real warming sensation with zero alcohol, zero sugar, zero carbs, and 0 calories. Perfect for nights out, social gatherings, or anytime you want the experience of a drink without sacrificing tomorrow. Check it out at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, all the flavor, none of the alcohol.
It's deck days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Don Hahn and Rosenberg live from Plaza 33 outside Madison Square Garden. Otis Livingston's interviewing fans here. Look at you. Who's better than you?
There he is.
Everybody's here. It's a happening. It's a place to be. So whether you're going to the game or not, if you're in the area, swing by with you till 7 o'clock. Monica McNutt and Tyler Murray are going to be joining us a little bit later on. John Starks will be here in the 6 o'clock hour. Game's not till 8. We're on till 7. That's when our coverage begins with Pat O'Keefe. So looking forward to it. Want to talk about the Knicks? 1-800-919-3776 is the number to call. We kind of touched on a little earlier, but the Pistons put up a stinker against the Magic. Is it matchup? Is it layoff?
No.
Or this was
both.
suggested?
I think it's both.
Or this third thing was suggested.
What do you got?
The disadvantage the one seeds have of only having 48 hours to prepare for an opponent. They don't know who they're going to play. Now, they got an idea. It can only be, those 4 teams going in, eventually 2. But is it an issue where everybody else can prepare during their time off? The Pistons really couldn't focus on the Magic until 48 hours.
If you're a 1 seed,
shouldn't matter.
And it's an 8th seed, which means one of the teams lost to get there, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how that becomes your problem.
But you've heard that be talked about, right?
I have, but I have not seen it turn into something that, was a disaster for anybody. I do think look, that's a real thing early in a playoff series, but it's not like the Magic are a team you've never heard of before. They've played them. The Magic have played them well. I think it's one of those styles makes fights kind of matchups where it's a team that's not physically intimidated by you. It's a team that has, has a working knowledge of how you play, and they're a big, strong team. They also, to me, have 2 legit star players that aren't like big-time all-star players yet, but they can help carry an offense. Whereas, once again, Detroit has 1, Cade Cunningham. And you've noticed Cade's scoring numbers were up, but his assist numbers were not, which means no one else was making shots around him. I think that if there's an Achilles heel for this team, it's the fact that there's just one guy on that team that you're really worried about when it comes to scoring, especially late in the game. But I think it is a style type thing that it's a Magic team that also wants to play physical. They have the size to contend with them, and they were ready for it. And I thought Orlando, after they lost that their first game, they lost to the Sixers. They didn't look like they had any life in them left. And there was a lot of talk about the coach being fired and things going on in that locker room. They must have had a meeting of the minds because they looked a lot different against Charlotte.
Yeah.
And they certainly looked different in that game 1. So that's a dangerous team for Detroit, who has not won a playoff game since 2008.
So that's Auburn Hills.
Home playoff game.
That's Auburn Hills.
That's Auburn Hills. You're right.
Because that building is not that old.
No.
I was just there.
Well, last year was their first playoffs in Caesars.
Right.
So, but you're going all the way back to, their right after their championship era. Right before LeBron James winning championships was the last time they won a playoff game.
That is amazing.
Think about
18 years.
Yeah.
And now that feeds into it, right? Now you go to game 2 and you haven't won at home.
Well, there's pressure that comes with
that.
It
becomes a problem. I think they're going to win the series, but if they've got to go a little extra, that could affect them a little bit more down the road. That is an amazing building.
Yes, it is.
It's actually modeled after the Bell Center in Montreal. And I didn't realize this because you walk in that building for a Red Wing game, you would have no idea the Pistons played it, right?
Yep.
Everything's red. Mm-hmm. Everything's Red Wings. But the reason for that is, and I noticed this. So it was a Saturday night we did the game. It was against the Devils Red Wings. We eliminated the Red Wings from the playoffs. So I'm hanging around because the bus isn't until usually 30 minutes later.
Yep.
All of a sudden I see the Red Wings retired numbers roll up like a drape. so they can bring down the Pistons' retired number. So the Red Wing numbers aren't there.
Interesting.
So when the Pistons play there, and you've been there, like it probably has more of a Pistons feel.
Absolutely.
So it's almost like a MetLife. There's when the Jets play, everything kind of turns green, and then they turn the shelves around where they're selling Jet stuff, and then when the Giants play, they turn them back around again, like the Bat Cave or something. I never just saw that. So like Gordie Howe's numbers not hanging there when the Pistons
now,
play.
How do you feel
they roll it up.
How do you feel about that? See, at the Garden, the Ranger banners are there.
I don't like it.
Nick banners
well,
are there.
Thing. I was in Boston. You see all the Celtic numbers alongside.
And the Bruins,
You know, that was that whole story where Larry Bird during the anthem would always look at the Bob Orr number.
Yep.
I guess I don't know. Maybe they have the technology now.
But why?
But
I don't love it. Because
you know what that tells me?
What? Disconnect?
That tells me that there's a disconnect between the two franchises. They don't share the same fan base. That must be it. Like, listen, I think there are basketball fans and there are hockey fans.
They don't share the same owner either.
No. Now, they do here at the Garden.
Of course.
But, you know, like Boston,
they don't. Not the
but
same
yet
owner.
you go into that building. It definitely has a Bruins feel because everything's black and yellow.
Yes. The seats.
But the Celtics banners are hanging there during Bruins games and vice versa.
But that's tradition.
So,
and again, I feel like that there. I don't know how other fans feel, but there is something about it makes the arena a living, breathing organism versus this is our home gym, right?
Yeah.
It feels like the building is also special.
Because
like the Clipper Laker thing at when it used to be Staples, right? When the Clippers were there,
right?
The Clippers would cover up all the Laker stuff. They would cover up the banners.
Well, that makes
They were
sense,
embarrassed because they had nothing,
Yeah.
right? But there was something weird about when you went to a Clipper game at whatever it is now, but crypto.com, right? But it was once Staples. It was always a weird thing to work a Clipper game and just be in a building that you like, but like this is not the same building, even though it was.
I think part of the mystique of Madison Square Garden is everything that comes with MSG.
Yeah.
It's Knicks, it's Rangers,
Yeah.
it's Billy Joel.
Yeah, it's the circus.
It's all
in the back in the old days, you could smell the elephants if the circus was in town.
I remember when the Rangers would be in the playoffs. So they would move us around. You'd smell the elephant manure.
Yeah.
But just the vibe of this is the city's arena.
Yes,
this is where the concerts are.
That's what I meant.
You know,
right? It has a heart. It has a heart.
And listen, I love the whole setup there in Detroit because Ford Field is there where the Lions play, America with the Tigers. It's all in one place, and the city's really rallied, and it's a nice area over there. But it just felt like, all right, it's now the Pistons
I
building.
did not notice that because you remember I did a lot of shows from there during the first round last year. I had the privilege of calling a playoff game there with Mike Breen. A moment I'll never forget in my life and never ever get a chance to do anymore because they've taken that away from Regional Sports Network. So it was fortunate for me. So I was in that building a ton last year, and I never got that. I never had that thought come to mind.
Yeah, I didn't think it either.
Where are the Red Wings banners? It didn't even.
All of a sudden,
I don't love that.
I hear. Zzz,
I don't
all
love
of a sudden,
that.
I see them just roll up.
Yeah, I don't love that. Don't love that.
And I also like the whole idea that, like, when they hang the banner for Ewing, right?
Yeah.
It's the same banner from when they hung it there. So, like, from 50 years from now, that same banner.
Yep.
But if you're just rolling it up like a drape, it kind of makes it feel like they could change it out every year. I don't know.
This isn't important.
Again, I love the arena.
But doesn't it take away the value of it? It takes away the importance of it.
But
now, all of a sudden, it's not
again,
important.
I'm not from Detroit. I never asked people, but there must just be such a separation between the two bases that they don't intertwine.
You hate that.
But and listen, I think that Knicks Rangers are different hockey and basketball, but I just think the city kind of rallies around them at the same time.
Agree.
And it's the city's arena. That's what makes Madison Square Garden so special.
Yep.
It's cold, but the sun's out. Come hang with us. I feel like I'm getting ready for a football game instead of a playoff basketball game, but still, it's awesome.
Giants-Packers coming up.
Plaza 33. I guess this would be Giants-Falcons, or I guess because it's Atlanta's in.
Good point.
Something like that.
Either way, that works too.
It's Knicks-Hawks. Want to hear from you. 1-800-919-3776. Got a few lines open. Monica McNutt, Tyler Murray are going to be joining us. John Starks is going to join us as well. Don Hahn and Rosenberg take you up until 7 o'clock, and then it's Knicks basketball here on ESPN New York.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talent acquisition at goodkarmabrands.com.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
Knicks fans, it's time to hit the court with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. Download the BetMGM app today and add a boost of excitement to every New York game day with same-day parlays, live betting options, player props, boosted odds specials, and the best daily promotions in the business. With the BetMGM app at your fingertips, you can experience the excitement of betting on your favorite players and get in on all the blue and orange action as your New York Knicks drive the lane. Find out why basketball fans love BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Gambling problem in New York? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Life is motion, but for Jaime, debilitating pain in both hips brought everything, including family time, to a halt.
Every doctor told me the same thing. They would do one hip at a time.
At White Plains Hospital, Dr. Jacob Totka's unique expertise provided an alternate approach by replacing both of Jaime's hips on the same day.
In just 2 hours, I got 2 new hips, and I went home that day.
White Plains Hospital, among the best hospitals anywhere that just so happens to be here. A member of the Montefiore Health System.
It's deck days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Harry Douglas here. Let me ask you something. What if you can enjoy the taste of a cocktail, the warmth of a spirit, and still stay fully in control? That's RK Zero Proof, a pioneer in the alcohol-free spirits category. RK delivers bold flavor and a real warming sensation with 0 alcohol, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and 0 calories. Perfect for nights out, social gatherings, or anytime you want the experience of a drink without sacrificing tomorrow. Check it out at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, all the flavor, none of the alcohol.
Now through April 23rd, get to Floor & Decor's flagship store in Brooklyn at 850 3rd Avenue. Enter the Design Your Day with K sweepstakes presented by Floor & Decor. Discover unmatched selection, unbelievable prices, plus standout looks in tile, wood, stone, and more. Explore fresh ideas, find your inspiration, and see real people, real projects. The Design Your Day with K sweepstakes, only at Floor & Decor in Brooklyn. Now through April 23rd. Visit ESPNNewYork.com for full details and rules.
New year, new season, same goal. Feel good and stay in the game. But if neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica is holding you back, it's time to handle it. I'm Bart Scott, and I'm telling you to call Dr. J. Shaw at Soundwell Pain. Dr. Shaw is an Ivy League trained, double board certified, and he specializes in getting people back to living pain-free. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical, image-guided treatments that work. Same day or next day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. Stop playing through pain. Go to SoundwellPain.com. Relief starts today.
The Michael K. Show reverse remote coming up on April 23rd, presented by Floor & Decor. a full show takeover with everything you need to upgrade your home while we break down everything happening in New York sports. And if you're in Brooklyn, stop by Floor & Decor's flagship store at 850 3rd Avenue, because while we're on the air, there are plenty of things happening in store. The Michael K. Show Reverse Remote, presented by Floor & Decor. 1-800-919-3776. Let's get to the phones. Let's go to Muhammad on Long Island. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, man?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for taking my call.
Always.
So I'm going to get to the down last season when Stearns made those moves at the end of last season. You yelled at us Mets fans. Give them a break. Let's see what the team looks like.
I don't think I yelled at you. I don't think I yelled at you. I said, let's see what it looks like.
So I said, you know what? Don's right. So I said, I'm going to reserve my judgment until about 40 games in. But how bad it looks now, I just wanted to get your opinion. Like, how do you think the Met fans should look at Stearns today? Even though it's still early, it just looks really bad. So
you should be red hot.
That's all.
Now, it is only 21 games, so we'll see what it looks like when Soto comes back in this homestand. But if you remember, Muhammad, I said, I'm going to give him a break, but let's see what it looks like. And if it ends up being a disaster, I'll be the first one to rip him. And I hate the whole early thing, but 21 games is not enough of a sample size when 14 of the 21 you play without your best player. So let's see what this homestand looks like. But right now, if you're asking me what you should feel like, you should be feeling very disappointed, because even though it's only 21 games, it shouldn't look like this. It shouldn't be this bad.
What should it look like? Right? Because if you're saying it's early, that's telling everybody and yourself that you expect it to get better. What does better look like?
Well, better looks.
What's the expectation that you had for this team? Because honestly, you didn't have pitching. You knew that. You don't know what your lineup was going to be because you lost some big bats and you were hoping to get some production. You obviously know Lindor, Soto at the top. We started the season off the obvious disconnect between the two of them, right?
Yeah, but that shouldn't be an issue with him being out of the lineup, right?
No, but what I mean is, what does look like for this Met team?
If you made these changes because they only won 83 games, well, you're 7-15. So I would hope that you did this to be better than an 83-win team, that you were going to be a 90-plus win team and in the playoffs. So now I'm not saying that can't happen at 7-15.
You think this team could be that good?
I don't see it.
Like, the problem is, the 20 games at least gives you a look at something. Like, it gives you an idea of what it looks like, and what about them is telling you this is a 90-win team.
Because there are pieces here that are left over from last year, right? So has Beatty found himself? Has Vientos found himself? Now, Alvarez has shown a little bit of something.
Yep.
Lindor.
Yep.
Looks lost. Not just offensively, but defensively and mentally just looks off. Well, he was a guy from last year. Let's not make it like they blew this whole thing up. Simeon hasn't looked great. Polanco's been hurt. So some of the guys that they brought over have not really captivated the imagination or anything. But, again, maybe it's just a bad month. Weather warms up. Things get better. But now you put yourself that you're going to have to get on a torrid pace in order to surpass just the 83 wins from last year. So you have a right to be disappointed. Now, you don't make major statements like it's over, they're done. But as far as finding that consistency, that feels like it's done. Now it's like I got to hope for a miracle again. Like, that's the thing that just frustrates me, is that I thought we were over that. I thought we were going to try to find some consistency. But as much as I hate the hold it's early, it technically is in the sense that, hey, the next 21 games could look a lot better, and you can kind of forget about this awful start and say, hey, remember when we were 5-7 or 7-15 and we were awful? That's why this homestand is huge. You're getting Soto back. You got the Twins. You got the Rockies. You got the Nationals. At least 6-3.
6.
So 6-3 would get them.
Get you to 13 and 19.
13. It'd be 13 and 18,
right?
13 you're still under 500, but you're playing better.
But you're closer.
Now you get into May. If Soto starts to rake, you feel better about it. But it's so frustrating. Look what the Knicks have been able to build, right? Now, I understand NBA playoffs are different than MLB playoffs, so they're not that much different. Is the sense it's 5 straight years now that the Knicks are a playoff team, right?
Yeah.
Second straight year where they're expected to make a run. That's the kind of consistency you're looking for. You know, the Mets don't have that. And only twice in their history have they made the playoffs back-to-back years. It's up and down. It's always miracle runs, and I've said it till I'm blue in the face. I want to find some sustainability. Jets don't give it to you. Giants don't give it to you. The Rangers had it for a while. Now it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Devils haven't had it. The Islanders now haven't had it. You know, it's kind of crazy when you look at stability. It's the Yankees
and the Knicks.
And the Knicks.
Right.
And one is always stable. Oh, by the way, the last time the Yankees lost 11 in a row?
I'm going to go before Babe Ruth.
Yeah,
Highlanders.
Yeah, 1913. I think they were the Yankees, but they're still.
They were the Yankees then. All right, they weren't the Highlanders, but they weren't playing at Yankee Stadium though.
And they didn't have Ruth. Right? We're talking pre-Ruth.
Right.
We're talking. You know, it's pre-war, pre-World War I.
Pre-war. Pre-cars.
Well, if you had a car, you were like the Elon Musk of that time, right? Like, there were probably as many people with cars as people now that have been to space.
Imagine a world where the Yankees did not have any world championships and lost 11 games in a row, and you didn't drive cars. That's the world.
That's the world. So that's the kind of
that's a world we
you're
can't
talking
imagine.
About. And yet,
those three things all together.
You got to believe.
Just keep believing, Donnie. That's all you got.
Just keep believing. It'll
if
be
anybody's going to come back from something like this, you know it's the Mets.
I got to tell you, we got a piece of it with Steve Novak.
Yep.
And, of course, you know Alan Hahn's been on the coverage of both the radio and the television for years now. What a great job MSG has put together with all the people that cover the team. You know the gold standard that Clyde and Breen are on a consistent basis. But, you know, Monica McNutt and Tyler Murray, Wally Zerbiak, Bill Pito. I mean, the list goes on.
Happy birthday, Bill Pito.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why he's not coming?
Probably.
Or did we didn't ask?
I told him he can eat all the candy he wants today because he's big on the candy, especially the anxiety eating during the playoffs for him.
I haven't seen him in maybe a calendar. I haven't seen him probably since.
What? He should stop by.
I probably haven't seen him since the conference final.
That's
last
wrong.
year.
We need you to see him.
But
Alan Houston's birthday, by the way, as well, and Don Mattingly's birthday today.
Yeah, Michael brought it up today when I was driving. He's 65 years old. Does that bother you that he can collect Social Security? Your hero, Donnie Baseball.
I've gotten over the whole I can't believe he's that old stuff because nobody looks old. To me, the older you get.
I know, but
you know what I mean? It's weird, but
I don't know. A guy I watched
playing
baseball is now 65 years old.
Definitely jarring, yeah.
It is kind of crazy, but you know what? Monica McNutt and Tyler
she's not
Murray,
65.
No, she's got a long way before she gets there. Tyler even longer. They're both going to be joining us coming up next, and they're going to have obviously the call coming up at 7 o'clock with the pregame with Pat O'Keefe and 8 o'clock tip of Knicks Hawks right here on ESPN New York.
Hey, in New York, everybody, every block is a business. Every minute counts. So Amazon Hub Delivery lets you earn extra revenue from the business you already run. Listen up. If you own your own business, you and your staff can deliver packages right in your neighborhood on a schedule that works for you. So Brian and the crew at 165 Hardware in Washington Heights, they deliver during their store's afternoon downtime. The extra revenue from Amazon Hub Delivery helps their bottom line, and delivering has given the business more visibility and connection in their community. So getting started, by the way, easy. No delivery experience, no long-term contracts, and more important, no startup costs. New York local businesses, listen up. You ready to make your next move? Visit Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. I'm telling you, check this out. Amazon.com/HUB Delivery.
Chris Carlin with you. Glad to be joined right now by Taylor Canfield. He is the U.S. Sail GP team driver, and we are all getting ready for the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix coming up at the end of May. Taylor, how we doing?
Yeah, we're excited for the home event in New York, and can't wait to be there and racing in front of all the fans.
Tell us why fans should be excited for the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix.
The racing is just so exhilarating coming in and watching it from the shoreline of of Governor's Island and in front of the Statue of Liberty. I'm racing in one of, the biggest, most amazing cities in the world. I'm getting the goosebumps just talking about it. And, these boats are, the fastest boats in the world, racing, with the best sailors in the world. It's really cool. And it's going to be so electric in New York. And yeah, it's our home event this year. So we're pumped.
We are pumped as well. Taylor, we appreciate your time. He is U.S. Sail GP team driver Taylor Canfield. We're looking forward to the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix coming at the end of May. Taylor, thanks.
Now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks, guys. Hitting the brakes on the belts eastbound in Brooklyn. A crash in the right lane by Flatbush Avenue. Long line of brake lights there from the Verrazano on through. No relief on the Northern State eastbound in Nassau County. Still have an accident in the left lane by Lakeville Road. Add that to the volume. You're backed up onto the eastbound Grand Central in Queens. Not moving much on the east side of town. FDR northbound. A collision on the ramp to the Willis Avenue Bridge. Just crawling there, heading over to the Harlem River Drive from the Midtown Tunnel. Inbound Georgia, about 10 to 15 for both the upper and lower decks. Best of it's the outbound side, southbound Deegan and Henry Hudson. Outbound Lincoln Arani, about 15 to 20 minutes. Outbound Hahn, 20 to 30. This report is sponsored by the New York City Department of Transportation. Speeding ruins lives. Drivers, watch out for pedestrians and cyclists and slow your turns to less than 5 miles an hour. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
FanDuel is serving up a happy hour every day during the playoffs. We're talking special drops you won't want to miss, from profit boosts to bonus bets and more with everything in between. You can find what you're looking for on FanDuel, and the best part, it's every single day. So whether you're betting the early game or gearing up for primetime, make sure you open the FanDuel app and see what's waiting for you today. So head to FanDuel.com/local to get started during this playoff run. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. From profit boosts to bonus bets and more with everything in between, you can find what you're looking for on FanDuel, and the best part, it's every single day. Make sure you open the FanDuel app and see what's waiting for you today. Must be 21 and older and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions do apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369.
Harry Douglas here to tell you about Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy. It tastes just like the best birthday cake ever. Vanilla, buttery, frosting vibes. It's basically a party in a bottle. Confetti Craze makes it easy to turn any day into a party with its delicious birthday cake flavor and big birthday energy. And here's the best part. All cake, no sugar. I bring these tiny bottles everywhere to cakeify my day with tasty caffeine boosts. The Funfetti flavor is back on 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. Crack open a Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy shot today.
In a contracting business, you're either growing or you're grinding. Success is no longer about hard work alone. It's about using AI to accelerate impact. Service Titan is the only integrated intelligence that seamlessly automates your entire workflow, from first call to final invoice. Born in the trades, built for visionaries ready to stop operating and start automating. Service Titan, AI for the trades.
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson for three.
And this is your home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
The Knicks Hawks round one is upon us. Game 2 tonight. Tune into MSG Networks as they'll be hosting pregame and postgame coverage for each Knicks playoff game all season long. Game 2 coverage begins at 7:30. with a pregame show, followed by a 60-minute postgame show once the game goes final. Bill Pito, Alan Hahn, and Wally Zerbiak will be in studio with Alex Monaco on the street interviewing fans.
That's actually insane when you see him. I don't know if you guys caught it.
Not yet.
Well, we know Alex is an energy resource of just himself.
He's crazy.
And
Those
he's
fans
among,
are crazy.
after the game last night, game one postgame show, Monaco is like out with like the fans, and it's almost like they had to get to his level. It was unreal.
I believe it.
So he'll be in the streets interviewing the fans. Monica McNutt and Tyler Murray will join throughout. Tune in tonight at 7:30 for the pregame coverage of Knicks Hawks, and Monica McNutt and Tyler Murray join us here on the freezing dais as we're getting ready for Falcons Giants at MetLife. That's what it feels like right now.
Feels like, oh man, nailed it.
It's like she's bundled up, but look at Tyler.
No, he's from New Hampshire.
It's
He
sunny.
doesn't feel this.
I'm from Connecticut, Alan. Thank you. I live in New Hampshire.
You live in New Hampshire.
Yes. Old job, old story. But it's a beautiful day. It feels like the playoffs. If you get in the sunshine, the wind's not too bad. I think it's perfect conditions. And,
He's such an announcer,
He is.
isn't he? He's such an announcer.
We'll be spending most of the
Apologies
night
for the weather.
It is a
we'll be
beautiful
indoors.
day here in New York City.
It's excellent. The energy is great. Last year I drove in a lot of the games, but getting a walk in this year, I'm taking the train in from Connecticut. Beautiful.
I got to tell you, you guys have tremendous chemistry.
Yes.
I listen a lot driving home during the course of the season, and you have not known each other all that long, and yet the chemistry on the radio I think is fantastic.
Thanks, Don.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, your thoughts, Monica? Go more on that.
No, I was going to let you keep going.
The thing about me and Monica is
such a great day.
We're both 90s kids in a way. You know, you said earlier we both have a long way to go to get to, age 65?
Yes.
We're only a few months apart. She's much smarter than I am, went to Georgetown. She's much funnier than I am. She's much more athletic. And then I do all the other sides of the yin and yang, and it works out perfectly, I think.
See? This is why
Wow.
it's great.
It's difficult not to get along with Monica.
The best part, I think,
smart.
of what has developed between the two of you on the air is the fact that Monica put her phone up and hit record,
the
and
videos.
you guys are calling the game. And for Tyler, it's like sort of it's gotten you out of your shell.
I guess,
like at first you were, like you had to get out of your comfort zone. What Monica's one of her great skills is taking you out of your comfort zone without you knowing you're out of your comfort zone.
I was hoping to really dive into the guard screens for Atlanta tonight, but
we're going to get to the analysis
come on, you
at
don't
some
know this
point.
show then.
But Don,
we need to break you both down.
Well,
first.
here's the thing. Don knows this as a play-by-play guy. You have to self-promote a lot when you're on your way up. The social media, hey, check out this, look at this call, and it's kind of uncomfortable for a lot of us because it's a look-at-me move.
Yeah.
What Monica does, and I love it, is look at us. See how we call the game, how invested Monica is, the facial expression she'll have, and not just when the camera's on.
Or when she hits you.
Yeah.
Like randomly just starts slugging your arm while you're trying to finish the call.
I got a
Because
bruise.
she knows
Don,
I
you
can't
did
step
have
on the
that.
call.
Yeah.
But I need to get this out, so I'm just going to start punching Tyler.
Yeah. I still got marks from Boston. Game
Fine.
2 last
It was
year.
worth it.
I didn't get that kind of love with the camera, but she did laugh at me when I got hit by the T-shirt.
Oh, wow.
Which we
did
talked about
happen.
this. When
It's
they
a
roll
bullseye.
that up
it's a
tight
weapon.
and then they wrap it with the
Yeah.
It's a
weapon.
rock.
No, and it got you square in the
and
mug.
it knocked my headset off. And we're just about to go on the air, and instead of Monica picking up the slack, it was just.
I mean, what's life if you can't laugh a little, right? Like, it's
I
great.
just got hit by a T-shirt. How great is that? You got.
I do feel like I need to get a word in here because Tyler was so effusive about our team. And I will say, though, I think we both feel like we've lucked up in the partner category. And, Don, you were great moonlighting. I had so much fun with you, bud.
Thank you.
But to land on Tyler as the steady play-by-play guy in this role, like, we both love the game so much. And I think what worked, even early on for us when we had our audition, like, it's not about us. Like, the camera is a glimpse into what we get to experience and enjoy and connect with our fans through the game of basketball and Knicks basketball. But ultimately, like, I want him to have a great call. He wants me to have a great call. It has not been without its teachable moments, but I think our communication is outstanding, and we give each other room to be who we are.
That's well said, Monica. Thank you. What's cool for me is I watched her on TV. My wife is a massive fan of Monica McNutt, so when it turns out we're working together, we're like, what, really? You get to work with Monica? Same with Alan Hahn occasionally.
You didn't have to throw that in. It's not necessary.
You were looking at me in a certain way.
so
It's like, when's he going to say my name?
No, I did not.
It wasn't that way. But I feel very lucky, of course. It's my hometown team. I love the Knicks. I would be at home watching these games and saying, oh, great point, Monica, on my couch if I wasn't here doing it with her anyway. So I feel very, very fortunate.
Well, what you have also, which helps, is a winning team, right? Like, obviously, winning team, playoff runs the last couple of years. Like this is what obviously is the best part of the job and what lends to it. So Don and I have talked about this. We talked about Steve Novak. Going into the series, it's not New York if we're not saying, okay, how do they lose this? Mm-hmm. That's all we ever do. We when we analyze series when they begin, it's what could go wrong because that's just what our teams give us here in New York. Game one, Tyler, start with you. Game one told you what?
Well, it's interesting how Detroit loses game one, and I'm hearing, don't overreact to a game one loss. But the Knicks win game one, and it's like, okay, well, I know Monica did a good job coming in to game one broadcast and saying, let's not underrate Atlanta. Yes, the Knicks are the better team, but the Hawks have so many weapons on both ends of the floor they can do a whole lot. But I just saw a Knicks team that was ready for the moment, ready for a deep run, and you saw glimpses defensively from Karl-Anthony Towns. I think Mikal Bridges had an underrated game, and I think those two guys in particular, when they reach their potential, the Knicks can beat anybody in their path, and we're seeing a playoff level of execution that came and went during the regular season. It was good to see from game one that they seemed locked in and ready to go.
I think my observation is adjacent to that one. I was really pleased with the balance, right? You got a performance that was bookended by its all-stars in terms of the way Jalen Brunson came out on fire, and then Karl-Anthony Towns was ready to go by the fourth quarter. But in the midst of all that, you've got an 18-point efficient performance from OG Anunoby. You've got a 14-rebound performance from Josh Hart. You've got a quiet but steady performance from Mikal Bridges. Deuce McBride is finding his rhythm off the bench. And so I thought as we've gotten past game one and now read and had the opportunity to digest the schematic shifts on the defensive side of the basketball, all in all, the focus was one of the things that I was most impressed with, and you could see that up and down the roster.
How about the quote from Mike Brown after the game? He said, OG Anunoby started out so hot that he could have hunted shots, taken low percentage looks just to heat check, but he didn't do that. He shared the ball, he kept the team in rhythm, and then dominated on the defensive end, and that's the sacrifice he's been talking about all year, and we're seeing it now where a lot of guys, let's just stay hot, let's keep shooting. Anunoby had the feel for the moment to know that, okay, actually this is Jalen Brunson's quarter, and he went off for 19 points. I think you're going to see a lot more of that as the playoffs continue.
And we saw a nice rotation, and I brought it up with Steve Novak earlier. Does that happen with Tibbs? And it's not just about one game, it's about like the whole season of getting everybody involved. Is that the distinct difference between the two coaches? Is that a microcosm game one of why you bring in Mike Brown?
It's got to be. Otherwise, why would you make the change, right? And so I think when we go back and look at the minutes played this season, I saw a stat going into game one, though, that kind of made me chuckle because the starting five for the Knicks still had the most minutes played in the league, but it was down by about 400 minutes from what they achieved last season. So the formula here, as much as you can insert a new head coach and use more depth, get guys off the floor, tweak here and there, the formula's still here. Don't get it twisted. It's very much Jalen Brunson needs to play well, Karl-Anthony Towns needs to play well, and everybody else needs to be in their roles. And so that means those guys are going to be on the floor.
Yeah, you look at last year compared to this year, Josh Hart has played 900 fewer minutes this season than a year ago. He led the league at about 38 minutes a game last year. This season, he wasn't even in the opening night starting lineup, and that's just an example of how willing to try new things this entire coaching staff was. And the collaboration was the buzzword you heard about in the offseason. And how about game one? Right after the win, Mike Brown says, Brendan O'Connor, Darren Erman, our two defensive gurus, they came to me and said, how about Josh Hart defending Jalen Johnson? It worked really well. We'll see if it continues, but just being willing to take those different opinions and inputs, it makes this a dangerous team because every series, and hopefully they have more than just this one, they're going to have to make adjustments, get creative, figure out how to match up best, and they've got, what do they call it in football? The multiple looks, right, that you can send at these teams on both ends that can make you a winning team on any night.
The voices of the Knicks on ESPN New York of MSG Radio Network. Tyler Murray, Monica McNutt joining us right now outside Madison Square Garden for Game 2 of the Knicks and the Hawks. And, you know, think about the collaborative stuff we've seen throughout the season where the adjustments were made from what Mike Brown wanted to do early in the season, the up-tempo stuff and Jalen off the ball. The defense had to be fixed. They did that middle of the season. And then the thing we saw at the end of the year that I think many of us were waiting for or curious about. And, look, there's other superstars on other teams, all-star caliber, all-NBA caliber players, right? You have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum as a great example of in the East. They generally play separate of each other in their own lanes, but obviously at a high level, and you saw that in Game 1 against the Sixers. It's rare you see two guys playing off each other like we've seen recently, especially in Game 1 with Brunson and Towns. Monica, it's just such a different look. And even though Towns doesn't get a ton of shots or more shots than usual, he just seems different since they started doing this, as if this is what he's wanted all along. What have you seen from him?
I think the last part of what you said is probably partial truth, right, in terms of this being something that he knows he can be effective in and something he knows that will ultimately benefit the team. I had a coach that used to say, be selfish in a team way. And so as we now move to the postseason, where despite Mike Brown offering a different approach than last year's head coach, the rotations do get shorter. You do need to find your bread and butter. What is the thing that we can go to and call out and get a bucket? And when you look at it, it should be from your two all-stars who put defenses in a very difficult position oftentimes if both of them are being aggressive. And so the evolution this year to me is that if you get into that action, you can run it down the middle of the floor, you can run it on the side of the floor, on the wings. The corner three has been such a weapon. Yes. Like the statistics on that in terms of how well the Knicks have shot that, leading the league in that category. If they're shooting the three ball well, then you really put defenses in a pickle. And so I think as we've gotten to this point, the other thing, even though we've got a different head coach, this group has been through it together, right? Carlin, I think we forget this is his second year. You know what I mean? Like he has not been a Knick that long. But he and Jalen Brunson and the rest of this team have quality minutes together in big-time moments, and I think that's going to bode well moving forward.
18 playoff games last year. All three series ended in 6, so they're certainly battle-tested. You match up just last year's experience against a lot of these Hawks players. Their entire playoff careers don't necessarily get to 18 games. They've got C.J. McCollum, of course, and Alexander Walker back-to-back Western Conference Finals with Minnesota. What I like about the Brunson and Towns combo lately, not just the pick and roll, but you got this new element where it's Towns at the top of the key and it's Brunson cutting to the paint, and he can rise up and make that pass. A couple of those passes were off target early in game one, a couple of turnovers for Towns, but once they got that rolling, it's a whole new look for teams to have to deal with, aside from the basic pick and roll or pick and pop that when the trade was made, that's what everybody was saying. How do you possibly guard this two-man game, Towns and Brunson? The answer sometimes is put that wing on Towns, and we'll see if Dyson Daniels guards him from the opening tip tonight. But it's another option the Knicks have that makes them so difficult to game plan for.
Also trying to find a consistent game with Cat. Monica, we talked about it with you throughout the year, of just him finding a way to be consistent. Is the playoffs a breeding ground for that? Same opponent, at least especially first round this series, it's every other day, that maybe we can find a little more consistency in Cat than we did during the regular season?
I should certainly think so, Don. And as I look at this matchup in particular, I would love to get Cat honestly and candidly talking about how much the OGs and the Hall of Famers, I mean, we saw it during the NBC broadcast. We obviously had the Shaq moment with him. Like, how many folks have been calling him out of respect because they believe in him? And so, yes, when you get into a series, you're familiar with the opponent. You get to learn how they're planning to defend you. Yes, there are adjustments, but ultimately, as high processing basketball IQ players, you can pick it up. I think, too, what is unique about this particular matchup, Onyeka Okongwu is 6'9" on a good day, and that's your center, right? So if ever we're going to be in an opportunity where it's very clear the advantage of Karl-Anthony Towns, it is in this matchup. And I would add, the way that this team defends puts him in a position where he gets to do what he wants. Nobody's hollering, go down and post him up. Like, oh, it's fine. You want to go out on the perimeter and do your thing? Cool, because you still have the advantage there in that space. And so I think this one in particular, and of course you look at what he averaged during the course of the regular season, and he was so efficient in the matchups that he made, or he was available versus the Hawks. Like, this one in particular, heavy is the head that wears the crown. It's a tremendous opportunity for him.
And he's risen to the occasion in the playoffs for the Knicks and, of course, for the Timberwolves a couple of years ago. But Game 3, Indiana, down 20. He had a 20-point fourth quarter with the season on the line. Yep. And that wasn't, okay, let's run some plays. It was, give me the ball, I'm going to figure it out. Yep. So that's not how you want to necessarily win a game. And I love to see how well they started in Game 1. Of course, 3 20-point comebacks last year in the playoffs. The footnote is they were behind by 23 different times, and you'd love to never have to deal with that again. So I've got a lot of faith in Towns the way he's playing right now. And 25 points, 3 blocks on Saturday. Only he and Patrick Ewing have had playoff games with 25 points and 3 blocks in franchise history.
He had the ferocity about him in that second half where you don't see it a lot. He's literally talking trash to opponents. Like, that's a guy that was taking ownership of the moment, and that's when you see that. And it's like what you said, Monica, about Shaq. That's kind of what Shaq was saying. You do that, understand, there's nobody that can guard you, but you got to do that, and that's the part that has to be consistent. So I want to ask you guys something. Have you paid attention to Jordan Clarkson's special gifts?
He's a talented guy.
He apparently is also a spiritual healer.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
We saw it in Memphis, and our view is blocked by the left side basket, Monica, but this happened toward the end of the bench, Allen.
Game 1, yeah. So in Memphis, you remember OG hurt his wrist. He went to the bench, and Clarkson did this thing with his hands over the wrist. And then OG came back in the game and was fine. So he twists his ankle, and at third quarter, and the whole crowd, when he started limping, it's like everybody knows his importance. How important is OG? Just ask the crowd. Because they started groaning, oh, no. You can't be limping. Goes to the bench. Now he checks out of the game. Now more groans. End of the bench. Everybody's watching, and I'm staring down at him. Anthony Goenaga comes over, just looks at him. He's tying up his sneaker. Clarkson comes over with Alvarado. The two of them are doing like whatever the magic they're doing with their
like
hands.
The Mr. Miyagi kind of thing?
Well, they didn't do the clap part,
Right,
but the fingers are doing this. He gets up, checks back in the game, crowd goes crazy, and he plays the rest of the game. So Don's had this virus for a good 3 months.
Oh, dear.
Can we get Jordan out here?
We need to.
A little bit of magic on Don.
I don't think he'd come out.
You know,
I don't think he would.
Jordan secret stuff. It's
But
very,
it is
very effective.
That's funny.
But it is like another kind of character piece of this team that we're
the
starting
camaraderie.
to see, isn't it?
Yeah, and that matters. I think you talk about the fans. I think everybody would groan a little bit if you mention the matchups with Detroit this season. But the thing that stood out to me in those matchups, besides the fact that the Knicks just went to bed, is how much that team enjoys one another. And it's the same thing you say of the reigning champs, the Thunder, right? Like that, the camaraderie piece, the willingness to fight for one another, to have fun together, to be invested both as teammates and as people. Like that kind of stuff shows. And when you get to the postseason, where it's literally a game of margins, baskets are in a different, single basket, you're talking 2 points, like that kind of stuff, I think that stuff shows up.
I'm glad you brought up Clarkson, too, because obviously you've covered it plenty. He's transformed his game. He's a part of the Knicks all-defense lineup right now when they don't have Brunson and Towns on the floor.
Would have thought that back in November, right?
He told us back in Miami. He told us he was playing some defense. Remember that?
He said it then.
Yeah, he did.
He's doing it now. 8 points, though, off the bench in just 11 minutes.
And a big assist to Mitch. I love that connection.
I think the Hawks' leading bench scorer was Jonathan Kuminga. He only had 8 points in 27 minutes. So if Jordan Clarkson, I guess your 8th or 9th guy off the bench, if he's going to be outplaying the supposed top guys on Atlanta's bench, then they don't have a whole lot of avenues to come back in this series.
And if he's going to heal people, too. I mean, think about the impact he brings.
Well, it sounds like you got to develop a nickname, and you guys have the ability to do that. You incorporate it into the broadcast, and that becomes his name. That's where Kay got Donnie Baseball with Manning. You got a chance to do something here.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a great privilege. We got to think on that.
Real
Can't take that
opportunity.
lightly.
Yep.
Well, let's hope he never has to heal anybody ever again.
You're right about Anunoby, though.
We don't need that. But yes.
Even him being out for a few minutes, you got a little antsy. But I will say, you saw the aggression kick up from Mikal Bridges in those moments because you're thinking, all right, who has to be the go-to 3-and-D guy now? I think Bridges, right away, he took a shot off the dribble, nailed it. I don't think his counting stats weren't all that great defensively on Saturday. That doesn't matter in the playoffs at all. He's been locking guys up, fighting through screens, and he continues to be, I think, that playoff riser you were hoping he'd be when they brought him in. And we all know about Boston round 2 last year, but I think he's on pace to put together an even better playoff run this year, Mikal Bridges.
I really thought he'd be shivering by now. Seriously.
For me?
He's tough.
This is exciting.
He's tougher than he looks.
I'm on with Don and Hahn, the television voice of the Devils, and
he's a P1. No, seriously.
No, I appreciate that.
He has reached out to me for certain segments where he's disagreed with my take.
Really?
He listens.
He's that guy.
He's definitely that guy. But I love him for it.
Well, I like Don's take initially about did you want Toronto or Atlanta? Path of least resistance, right, Don?
Yeah.
Because the Knicks have won 13 straight against the Raptors.
But who was right, though?
5-0
No,
this
we don't
season.
know who's right.
Well, okay, here's the thing. After watching Game 1 and realizing the similarities that the Hawks have to maybe a future opponent, should the Knicks win 3 of the next 6 games and get to round 2, a lot of the screen action between shooters.
This is the small screen thing he was dying to get to. Go.
Yes, a lot. You give McCollum and Alexander Walker setting screens for each other, and they got loose for a lot of open three-pointers on Saturday. You're going to see that, if you make it, from Pritchard, White, Tatum, Brown in round 2. So if you can figure that puzzle out with Atlanta, you're going to be a lot more equipped to maybe beat Boston.
Iron sharpens iron, Donnie. I win again.
But he gave way more detail than you did.
I made a better argument, but it's still a winning argument, Alan. That
Maybe if you made that argument, I would have agreed with
Listen, is it how you won or is it that you won? No, I won, and that's really all.
No, he's saying it's how you win because then you could apply that to the next opponent. I'm just thinking, I don't want to get to the conference final where I'm playing a team that's played, 4 less games than I have.
That's a great point, too.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, last year I was a little anxious that the Pistons took the Knicks to 6, and, of course, that physical style that they play, tough environment, even though the Knicks won all 3 games at Little Caesars Arena. Interesting stuff about the banners being rolled up, by the way. I didn't know that. But the Celtics only had to play 5 games against the Magic. So they had, in the end, 2 extra days to rest than the Knicks did heading into round 2, but, of course, it did not matter in the end.
All right, where's Winthrop, by the way? Because, as you can tell, this guy needs a talk show. Like there's no question.
If you really have a hankering to do talk radio for free, talk to John.
Right
if
up my
you
alley.
plan on getting paid, just go into the garden.
I do my
just talking to a tape recorder.
Michael Kay invites me on once or twice a year. You guys have me on 2 or 3 times. That's a perfect amount for me. That's my
Well,
quota.
thank you. I appreciate it, man. I know you got to get to work. Monica?
Thanks, guys.
Now, is this in lieu of Wednesday? You won't do twice a week, would you?
My flight's at noon. It doesn't have to be. Wednesday's our thing. I got to insult somebody.
Well, Peter's got some things to say.
We're getting a lot of mileage off of the Peter.
Because
way too short, way too bald, not my type.
We played that drop.
He texted me and I was like, bro, I'm sorry. I don't even have anything to say.
No,
I came in
you
hot.
apologize?
I mean, I couldn't.
No lies were told.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah. All right. Listen.
You asked.
Right.
He should, he should be upset with God. He made him bald and short.
I'm just observant.
And then the way I looked at it too, when you said not my type, that's like and more. Like there were a few other things you could have said, but you know what? You shortened it up by just saying.
Yeah, I'll just close with
it's
this.
Fine.
It's not my type would have been enough.
I love Rosenberg.
But those first 2 had to be said, and then it was not my type. But no, we appreciate it. I loved every second of it. Monica McNutt,
The best.
Kyler Murray, 8:80, 7 o'clock with Pat O'Keefe, 8 o'clock they'll have the tip throughout all of the playoffs. Calls, 1-800-919-3776. John Starks joining us on the 6 o'clock hour. Don Hahn and Rosenberg on ESPN New York.
The Knicks.
In the lane with 2. Floater at the horn is good and rattled in. 19 first quarter points for Brunson.
The Hawks.
Deuce off the dribble. Buries a 3. Deuce McBride came to play in the fourth quarter.
The NBA playoffs.
All the way to the rim. Right-hand bank shot and a foul. Karl-Anthony Towns is taken over.
Game 2 coverage gets underway tonight at 7 on 880 and the ESPN New York app.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Release a new 2026 Mazda CX-50 Hybrid Preferred all-wheel drive for $259 for 36 months. Or buy with 1.9% APR for 60 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN TN155263. MSRP $37,455. Zero security deposit. APR $17.48 per month for $1,000 finance. And it's $430.26.
Knicks fans, it's time to hit the court with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. Download the BetMGM app today and add a boost of excitement to every New York game day with same-day parlays, live betting options, player props, boosted odds specials, and the best daily promotions in the business. With the BetMGM app at your fingertips, you can experience the excitement of betting on your favorite players and get in on all the blue and orange action as your New York Knicks drive the lane. Find out why basketball fans love BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager.
They're your store for inspiration with thousands of colors and a variety of sheens. And Rings End is your store for expertise with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. Insist on Benjamin Moore paint from Rings End because the gorgeous color you love can't be matched in another brand of paint.
And now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks so much, guys. Can't catch a break today over in Nassau County. Definitely want to stay away from the southbound Meadowbrook. Big crash by the southern state. Only one lane is squeezing by. Police and ambulance on the scene. You're at a standstill there from the Roosevelt Field Mall. Better off using the southbound Wanta heading into the area. No relief on the belts eastbound in Brooklyn. Still have a crash in the right lane by Flatbush Avenue. Delays there from before the Verrazano. You're backed up into Bay Ridge. Worst of it to the outbound George, Cross Bronx westbound. Solid from White Plains Road on through. Inbound George about 5 to 10 for the upper deck. Outbound Lincoln, your best ride at 10 to 15. Outbound Helena on you 15 to 20. This report is sponsored by the New York City Department of Transportation. Speeding ruins lives. Drivers, watch out for pedestrians and cyclists and slow your turns to less than 5 miles an hour. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
Hi, this is Don LaGreca. Just like the New Jersey Devils protect their home ice, Viking Pest Control protects your home. And I know because I use Viking at my own place. As the pest control provider and proud partner of the New Jersey Devils, Viking brings 45 years of trusted experience and expert service to keep ants, cockroaches, stinging insects, rodents, and even mosquitoes out of your zone. Their local team builds a personalized game plan that actually works. And when you bundle pest control and mosquito services, you score big savings. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com, protecting your home inside and out.
We all know winning means showing up stronger, faster, better than before. And when you're chasing that edge, the Drop by GNC cuts through the noise, bringing you the best new innovations in sports nutrition and performance. From muscle building and strength support to improved recovery and focus, we curate the newest drops from GNC Amp, Pro Performance, and Mega Min. Plus, Ghost, Raw Nutrition, Bucked Up, and the top new brands changing the game. No guesswork, just leveling up. Check out the Drop by GNC for what's new, what works, and what's next.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off. That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SCHEV.
The NFL Draft is coming this Thursday, April 23rd, and New York is on the clock. Jets have the 2nd and 16th pick. Giants pick 5th and 10th. And Rick DiPietro and Dave Rothenberg are breaking it all down. Join ESPN New York Couchcast, your second screen for the NFL Draft. Real-time reaction, instant takes, and everything New York fans care about, including Hawks-Knicks Game 3. They'll be touching on that as well. Watch along, react with us, and don't miss a single moment. ESPN New York's Couchcast on Draft Night this Thursday at 8 p.m., presented by Calandra's Bakery. Let's go to the phone. Some lines open at 1-800-919-3776. Dave in the car. You're on ESPN New York. What's up, Dave?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to talk about a topic that I think is a bit sensitive in the sporting world, but it has to be addressed.
Okay.
I really don't like the way the Patriots and the NFL are handling the Vrabel thing. It appears that he has relations with a high-level, at one time, a high-level sports person where there's a lot of trust involved. I'm sure you guys have people who reach out to you and they trust you. The situation gets blown open, and it just seems like, okay, it's the Patriot way. He's a winning coach. He's a Hall of Fame guy. Whatever he is, he was in the Super Bowl. Let's just keep it moving. But now you have the draft coming up, and you have all these questions about these young guys and their character. And he has a very young football team. And I just think there has to be something said. I know I have daughters who played sports. If their coach did something like that, whether it was a news reporter or not, my first thought would be, what's the reprimand? Because I talked to one kid who's going to college who's a tight end. I won't mention his school. And I said, what's the vibe with the teenagers right now with this thing with Vrabel? And he's like, basically, it's like he's a baller, man. He went and smashed somebody else's wife, and he's going to get away with it. It just is what it is.
But Dave, what responsibility do the Patriots have to get inside somebody else's room, all right? Diana Rossini is accused of a relationship with Vrabel. That messes up the integrity of her job. Was she getting information through that relationship? Vrabel's crime is cheating on his wife. Is that anybody's business? Show me a company that is going to discipline you for cheating on your wife. We don't know his relationship with his wife anyway. For all I know, they might have an open marriage. I don't know. But you want the Patriots and the NFL to punish Mike Vrabel for breaking up his marriage?
I
When would
think
that ever
that
happen?
this should be put under the microscope a bit, that he was doing it with someone.
Dave, it was. It was, Dave. It was under a microscope. It was under the media microscope. Everybody was exposed to it. Everybody heard about it. What crime was committed? Right? So that's it's a personal.
I'm looking
I
at it
know how
from
you're
the
looking. I get it. It's morality wise, of course. Like there's a lot of people that will look at it and you lose respect for him, and that's fine. But in the end, no crime was committed. It was a personal situation that became very public, and what are the Patriots going to do? He's going to work. He's going to do his thing, and they're going to try to move forward on it.
But people talk about the double standard. Diana Rossini compromised her job by what happened.
Allegedly.
But she did, because now people are going to take the step that she got information with Mike Vrabel for that relationship.
Right.
Whether that happened or not,
right.
Her integrity was damaged.
Yes.
That made it difficult for her to be able to do her job. Whether she got information or not, she lost her credibility.
She lost the trust of the public.
Mike Vrabel just took his team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He could still coach. And if you're going to discipline players and coaches for cheating on their wives, good luck. All right?
Please.
Professional athletes? Do I like it? No.
No.
Would I want to show my son and daughter that that's okay? But, hey, at the end of the day, it's between him and his wife.
Yeah.
All right? And who are the Patriots and the NFL to get involved in that? Now, if we were to find out that he was giving her misinformation or giving information from other teams to her, might be a different story. And that's why it was under the microscope. But people talk about why is Diana going through more than Mike Vrabel, is because Mike Vrabel could still do his job. His integrity as a NFL head coach was not damaged. As much as you might not like him as a person anymore for what he did, it does not affect his ability to coach his players.
Right.
It affected Diana Rossini's job to cover the NFL.
That's correct.
That's the difference.
Right. That's simply that. But, again, you don't like it and you wish that there was something more done about it. I understand that part too. But this is basically it.
Well, if you want to think he's a bad guy, go ahead.
Yeah.
If you want to stop rooting for him, by all means, go ahead.
Yeah, of course.
I understand that part of it.
Yeah.
But a crime wasn't committed by either side.
There's 2 innocent people that were affected by it, or more with kids involved, right?
Yeah, and I feel bad for their
wife
and his wife and
because
her
it was
husband.
a very public thing for them too.
Terrible.
And that's not something you want to experience. But for the two, that are involved here, one lost her job and has probably now going through a career thing along with the personal thing. And Vrabel is got to coach a team while probably dealing with a lot of personal stuff. And you wonder what kind of effect will it have on him when he does have to prepare for football and deal with what clearly would be coming from this.
Now, do I like the fact that he's not going to address the media? At the draft, things like that.
At some point, he's got to. Maybe not
will,
the draft because you don't want that to become the distraction and the focus. But I do think at some point he does have to have this out just to get it over with.
Spike in St. Pete, you're on ESPN New York. What's up, Spike?
Oh, boy. I want to come over there and give you a hand and feet warmers there.
It's cold.
It's a little chilly. That's all right. It's April in New York, which means it could be 81 week and 40 the next.
I was just telling Zach Zarba tonight.
Yes, your guy.
My guy. And I got to tell you a real quick story. Gavin John Starks on. I had an ulcer in 2010. In intensive care for 7 days. It just exploded. I almost bought the farm. I wouldn't take any calls from any of the 4 kids, nothing. My wife comes up out of the elevator. She says, "You got to talk to this guy." I said, "I can't. I got to talk to him." Starks. He says, "Hey, Spike, you got to get better, man. I need to see you at the Garden." I pop up out of my bed and I said, "Wiley was wrong. You won Game 6 and you caused too much crap for Game 7." And I got better. It's a true story. I don't know. You got the dreams. I always give them what I can afford every year. And I'm telling you, I know I love the Knicks as much as anybody. And I know I'm an old guy, but I'll never forget that. And I'll never forget Game 1. Allen, from a technical standpoint, the Knicks are only about 80% effective. I love JV. I love him. But getting all those points in the first quarter and then sloughing off, it's not the way to win, but you can beat Atlanta that way.
But think about it. You can if you have a guy like Towns, then take it from there when you're slipping, when one of your guys doesn't have it going. Like remember the Randall year when Julius Randle couldn't score. They had no one else that could score. That's why they lost that series to the Hawks. The Hawks just took them out of the series, and they had nobody else that could score.
Right. Thanks for the time, but let me tell you one thing. I wanted Randall out, and again, not because he didn't play hard and all, but he opened up the floor, and that was very important. And I think this team, I told Anthony, they got a short window here. This may be the best chance, and I did tell you, I thought Detroit was good. It's one game, but I thought Detroit was vulnerable with no secondary scorer, and you never saw it more than last night.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, that series, for sure.
Yeah, I think they'll be okay,
Thanks,
but
Mike.
they might find themselves in a dogfight that can affect them, down the road. All of a sudden, you're playing in a 6-7 game series in the first round against a play-in team.
Well, it's going to go at least 5 now, right? At least.
Right, but
5.
listen, they can win the next 4 by 20 points.
Well, so, I mean, they could, but,
but
right now you're chasing.
It doesn't feel like that's going to be the case the rest of the way. Jack in Manhattan, you're on ESPN New York.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call. On the Rossini thing, one thing that I don't think people are talking enough about, and by the way, I'm with you guys 100%. If it's a morality ethic thing, it's not, and what is the NFL going to do, right?
Right.
But with betting going on, if she's getting scoops and it's sending out whatever side she may be on or however that information goes, it's terrible because that could really influence the dynamics of betting.
Well, I just think it just –
How?
How is anybody going to feel like she has any integrity left to be able to cover the sport? I don't think it has anything to do with betting.
I'm curious how it impacts betting, though. How would it impact sports betting? She's not really reporting on injuries. This was all more like trades and stuff like that.
On anything that comes up that she. Look, the obvious thing is she might try to front run some things that nobody else is getting a scoop about.
Well, then see, Jack, what you're bringing up, Jack, is more on Vrabel than Rossini, because if Vrabel is giving her inside information, now it becomes an issue with Vrabel. Now he's doing something illegal. Now he's doing something that's fireable.
But there's nothing in any of the reporting that would suggest any of that.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Here's the thing, is that a couple of days after the story broke, Diana sent out a news item on social media. And if you read the comments, every single one of them was about what happened.
Yeah, about
and
the pictures.
At that moment, it was, how is she supposed to do her job?
Yeah.
Now, that's over.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't mean she can't find something else to do. It doesn't mean that maybe someday she can get up from it. But the idea is if you're reporting on something and you've lost all credibility, you no longer can do your job. Period.
Yeah.
Fair, unfair. But the gambling aspect, I know everybody wants to kind of turn it back to gambling. If she found out information, it's the person that gives her the information that would be the one that you would look at. If Vrabel was giving her inside information about injured players, now it becomes now the NFL's got to step in and look at Vrabel. But there's been no indication that any of her news had anything to do.
Let's not try to make this any bigger than what it really just was. It's not more than that. There was no other ulterior motives going on. There was nothing else happening other than the fact that a relationship was built into something that went a little bit.
And if I had to guess, and again, I know Diana in passing, all right? You guys might know her a lot better. It sounds like Peter is
I know her
friends
well.
with her. I know her in passing.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I would say she was not doing it to get information. So that would be my guess. But
I just know her reporting, and
you know what? I think she had a relationship with somebody that she happened to know.
It just happened to turn.
I don't think it was to get information.
No,
but that's just one man's opinion, and people are going to think otherwise, and everybody's going to wonder how did she get that scoop over Adam Schefter or over whoever?
Yeah,
people are going to maybe she slept to get the information.
Yeah.
That's what causes the divide.
People would just want to believe that because the story is.
And they would have enough evidence to say,
and that's the problem.
And that's why.
And that's the problem.
You just can't.
Mitchell Robinson pulling into the.
Was that who it was?
Yeah.
What was he listening to?
He loves his trucks. He loves country.
Really?
He listens to only country. He does not like. Yeah, he hates it when they do when they play hip hop in the locker room. He always says, can we just once play country? Yeah, he loves country.
And I'm sure it's like everybody in the room is like, shut up.
No, but he's his own guy, man. He's his own man, but he loves his trucks, though.
All right. We got calls. 6 o'clock hour, usually at 6 o'clock we do ENN. We're not going to do that today because there's no Peter. He's flying back from Vegas.
And why else?
John Starks.
We're replacing Peter Rosenberg with John Starks.
In the 6 o'clock hour.
Yes.
You know, they're just opening things up. We're on Plaza 33, just outside the Garden. Game's not till 8 o'clock. Our coverage begins at 7. So swing by. Sun's still out. It's a nice day. It's a little cold, a little chilly.
A little bit.
Not exactly playoff weather, but you know what? We're New Yorkers. We find a way to get over it. Take up until 7 o'clock, and then Pat O'Keefe is going to have pregame of Hawks and the Knicks game 2. It's Don Anna Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
Chris Carlin with you. Glad to be joined right now by Taylor Canfield. He is the U.S. Sail GP team driver. And we are all getting ready for the Mubadala, New York Sail Grand Prix coming up at the end of May. Taylor, how we doing?
Yeah, we're excited for the home event in New York. And, can't wait to be there and racing in front of all the fans.
Now, what is your role as driver of the U.S. Sail GP team?
So as a driver, you kind of have two different roles. One is trying to help make sure that the boat is going, as fast as you can around the racetrack. And then in addition to that, it's kind of the decision maker on board and, using the information that I'm getting from the whole team and the coach booth to kind of make those split-second decisions around the racetrack.
It sounds like an awesome atmosphere. What's the energy going to be like sailing right at New York City?
There's no better feeling racing in front of the home crowd, representing our country and hearing their cheering through our headsets that we have on board is, it gives me the chills just thinking about it. So we're pumped.
We're looking forward to the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix coming at the end of May. Taylor, thanks.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Hi, this is Chevy, managing partner at Precision Solar. If you're looking at solar in New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, here's what actually matters. Real numbers, honest answers, and a team that handles everything. We manage the entire process from start to finish. Designs, approvals, installation, and even a brand new roof if you need one. We don't sell you more than your home actually needs. Just smart systems designed for long-term savings and predictable energy costs. Visit PrecisionSolar.com to schedule your free home assessment. Precision Solar, built to perform for decades.
FanDuel is serving up a happy hour every day during the playoffs. We're talking special drops you don't want to miss, from profit boosts to bonus bets and more. And the best part? It's every single day. So whether you're betting the early game or gearing up for prime time, make sure you open the FanDuel app and see what's waiting for you today. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. We're talking special drops you don't want to miss, from profit boosts to bonus bets and more. And the best part? It's every single day. So whether you're betting the early game or gearing up for prime time, make sure you open the FanDuel app and see what's waiting for you today. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration. Leg requirements and max wager amount. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off and to wear a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696. And manage your diabetes as easy as...
Join DiPietro and Rothenberg this Thursday night for a special couch cast of Round 1 of the NFL Draft. Presented by Calandra's Bakery. The Jets and Giants now have 4 picks in the top 16, and Rick and Dave will react live as the first round unfolds. Plus, the guys will also react in real time to Game 3 of the Knicks-Hawks series. Catch it all in this YouTube-only exclusive, and it's all from Calandra's Bakery at ESPN New York.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets, so go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 2026 Mazda CX-50 Hybrid Preferred all-wheel drive for $259 for 36 months, or buy with 1.9% APR for 60 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN TN155263. MSRP $37,455. Zero security deposit. APR at $17.48 per month per $1,000 financed. Ends 4/30/26. We're outside the Garden getting ready for Game 2 between the Knicks and the Hawks. And apparently you're going into the building. You're paying a hefty price. As we're taking a look at what was sent over by Legion Hoops it says you can attend both Raptors, Cavs, and Wolves Nuggets for 3 times less than the get-in price for Knicks Hawks today. Raptors at Cavs, get-in price, $33. Wolves at Nuggets, $77. Hawks at Knicks, $334.
The get-in price in Cleveland is what it costs just to go through the tunnel, come into the congestion zone,
yes,
and then not even park. That's the $33 right there. I didn't even get in the building yet.
Now,
it's crazy.
I bought lunch today.
But people are
for the show.
Yeah.
And then to be nice.
Is it cheaper?
And,
was it cheaper than getting in the Garden? Look,
no,
it's a hot ticket. Now that's resale, of course. It's a hot ticket. It's the Knicks in the playoffs. There's no other ticket like it in the NBA.
Anthony Pusick, to reciprocate, got me a coffee and you a tea.
Yeah.
That probably cost as much as to get into.
Oh, there's no question.
To the Cav game tonight.
Yeah. No, and that's why you
Listen,
come out to this area right here, Plaza 33. They have the huge, right behind us, this big board where you'll be able to watch the game. We were out here last year throughout the playoffs. We did a show out here. We came out, I'll never forget, I don't know how many people out here were here for Game 6 against the Celtics. And at halftime, the Knicks were up big. And we came out here, it was myself, Bill Pito, Wally Zerbiak came out here at halftime just to kind of greet the crowd.
Right.
It went, and so we're in the middle part, right by Madison Square Garden. Literally next to us is the Garden. And so this goes, maybe 200 yards down, would you say, to 34th Street?
Yes.
I mean, to 7th Avenue?
Yes.
And then the Empire State Building you see in the distance. The crowd was all the way to 7th Avenue. That's how many people were here. This whole area fills up, and it's, to me, as great as it'd be in the building, there's nothing like this. If they had this in 94, this is where I would have been with everybody out here just having a great time.
No,
so this is a great idea. We're doing it again this year, and it's awesome that we're out here with everybody.
And that's why the Garden is special, because it's not on the outskirts of town.
Right.
And listen, Citi Field, Yankee Stadium, they are in the city proper, but to be in Manhattan, to be right where the people are, right above Penn Station, where people can kind of all meet. That's what really, I think, makes it easy for the fans to be able to conjugate.
Doesn't that make this that's why the location of this building, and it's the 4th different location the Garden's had ever. But the location of this place and where it is is what makes it so unique to any other venue in this area. Because like MetLife, we all know what it takes to get there. Now you can tailgate, and if only our teams were any good, you might have more fun after the game's out in the parking lot, but we never get to enjoy that these days. You mentioned Citi Field, that there are trains right there. It's easy to get to. Same thing as Yankee Stadium, trains to get there. But there is sort of an isolation to it, right?
Right.
This is something that, like, we're here, and at the start of the show, just people milling about. Like, this is like a lot of action happening here. This feels like the center of the city, like the heart of the city is kind of right here.
Well, think about it. Like where we work, right? You're from Long Island.
Yep.
I'm from New Jersey. And you've got people that live in Westchester or Connecticut, and there are people that live in the city, or they live in the boroughs. Like Anthony lives in Brooklyn.
Right.
Jacob lives in Harlem. Yeah. And where would they all go to get into the city? Penn Station, right? That's where we would all come in. Or Grand Central Station, which is not that far from here. And there's Madison Square Garden sitting right on top.
Right on top.
Just imagine if Yankee Stadium or Citi Field or MetLife Stadium was right here in
hub.
Manhattan.
Yeah.
After a big win, like it would be so easy for everybody to get together. That's why the Garden is so special, and moments like this are so special.
Yeah.
And to be able to get this kind of track, let's face it, in a lot of these places like Denver's just won a championship not that long ago. It's the first round, but I think we here in New York appreciate. Even though it's game 2 of the first round of the playoffs,
Doesn't
the
matter.
beginning of what could be a couple of months of a run.
Basketball.
It's still
it's the playoffs.
It's fun.
It's New York City.
It's fun.
That's the center of
That's
the
what makes it
universe
special.
with this sport. And that's why this building, this is the best place for it to be. It should be nowhere else.
Yeah.
All those years ago when they did the transformation, instead of building a new one somewhere else, like a lot of other places did, no. We're going to just transform this into a modern arena, but we're going to keep it in the same classic place, the same ceiling where Willis Reed came out limping, where Clyde won championships, Erling Clyde and Willis and all that. Like, that's what's iconic about this place. Mark Messier lifted a Stanley Cup under that ceiling. Like, it's just iconic.
No, it's a big deal.
And it's the best place to be.
Just quickly, because we're not going to have a chance to get to it, because we'll be all Knicks in the final hour, and John Starks is going to join us. I thought that was an amazing atmosphere in Buffalo last night. Sabres playing a playoff game for the first time since 2011. They're down 2-0 in the third period. You could hear a pin drop in the building because they just can't believe that it looks like they're going to lose. And then bang, 3 goals in like a 4-minute span. They go on to win the game.
Insane.
And there were people outside. It was really cool. I think it's such an underrated sports town, and they love their Sabres. They just had literally nothing to cheer about for 14 years.
Right.
And now they've got a division winner, and they beat the Bruins. It's only one game, but the atmosphere in some of these buildings where they're not used to seeing a lot of playoffs is really cool.
You mean that's what it's going to feel like when the Jets finally make the playoffs?
Yeah, that'll be a big deal.
It'll be like that.
Yeah,
that'd be
whenever
great.
that day will
Sign
come.
me up for it.
Hopefully we'll all be not ever still on the air, still on this earth when it happens. We've got a big 6 o'clock hour.
Let's go,
Want to hear
John
from
Starks.
You. We've got John Starks as well. It's Don Hahn and Rosenberg. Take you up until 7 o'clock, and then it's Pat O'Keefe with Knicks basketball on ESPN New York.
Knicks fans, it's time to hit the court with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. Download the BetMGM app today and add a boost of excitement to every New York game day with same-day parlays, live betting options, player props, boosted odds specials, and the best daily promotions in the business. With the BetMGM app at your fingertips, you can experience the excitement of betting on your favorite players and get in on all the blue and orange action as your New York Knicks drive the lane. Find out why basketball fans love BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Gambling problem in New York? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
And now let's take a look at the traffic with Brandy Scott.
Thanks a million, guys. I hope you have a great rest of the night. We've got the Knicks home over at MSG. Game 2 of the playoffs. Tip-off still a couple of hours away. Right now, if you're going to drive into Midtown, stick with the west side over the east side of town. No relief in Nassau County. Meadowbrook southbound at a standstill. Big collision by the Southern State. Only one lane is getting by. Traffic is stopped there from the Roosevelt Field Mall. Definitely want to stick with the southbound Wanta heading into the area. Heaviest ride to the outbound George, Cross Bronx westbound, bumper to bumper from White Plains Road on through. Inbound George in pretty good shape for both the upper and lower decks. Outbound Lincoln already about 10 to 15 minutes. Outbound Hahn a 15 to 20 minute ride. Big concert tonight in Jersey over at the Rock in Newark. Bruce Springsteen and the East Street Band jammed on 280 in both directions, heading over to 21 in the Stickle Drawbridge. I'm Brandy Scott on 880 ESPN New York.
It's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of New Jersey is offering up to 25% off windows and doors and 0% financing for 24 months. Some restrictions may apply. See store for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2026.
Empower.
After wanting one for years, Kevin is finally enjoying his new hot tub.
This is the life.
He worked with Empower to help him get good at money, so now he can be a little bad.
Oh, no, not my phone.
Oh, Kevin. Kevin's phone may be in hot water, but his finances aren't. Invest well, live a little. Start today at Empower.com.
What's up, my friends? This is Francisco Lindor.
This is Devin Williams. This is Luke Weaver.
Bo Bichette here. You're listening to the home of New York Mets baseball.
WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Fanatics Fest NYC. Fanatics Fest returns to the Javits Center July 16th through the 19th. See Aaron Judge, Jalen Brunson, John Cena, and hundreds more at the world's largest sports fan festival. Tickets available now at fanaticsfest.com.
What the hell is this?
ENN tonight.
Whoa. I'm freezing my ass off. You got a hat and gloves?
Yeah.
When did this happen?
Because they just happen to be in my pocket.
I'm going to turn around. He's going to have a scarf
I
around
got to tell you,
his neck,
I left the house today.
Okay.
And I said to Nancy, I said, you think I'm going to need a jacket? It's going to be 52. I've got my sport coat.
Mhm.
She's like, bring your jacket. What's the matter with you?
Right.
So I brought my jacket. I'm like, all right, worst, I'll leave it in the car. But then I took it with me when we had lunch.
Yeah.
And in my jacket are my gloves and my hat.
Isn't that nice?
And I tried to go without the gloves, but said screw it.
Yeah.
I tried to go without the hat
Uh-huh.
and said screw it.
Right.
Now,
And
what,
so-
I got to feel bad because I'm prepared?
And so rather than go, well, I mean, my teammate doesn't have a hat. He doesn't have gloves. See, I'm being offered hand warmers. But,
Yes,
you
I'll
know,
take 'em.
But a good, no, tell me I'm wrong, right or wrong. A good teammate would be like, I can't do that. So I'm nice and warm, and now he's freezing.
You've got TV. You don't want to get hat head.
I
from
don't.
work.
I honestly don't.
You do.
But
7:30.
No, I'm saying I do have TV. I don't want to get hat head.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, like I said, you could have been like, I don't want to do that. That's not right. Is that a bad teammate? It's a bad teammate, right? I'm just saying. I will take the, I'm going to take the hand.
Go
I'm
take
taking
the hand
warmers.
warmers. Alan is now walking into the crowd to get hand warmers because this isn't game 2 of Hawks-Knicks. This is like week 16 Falcons-Giants at MetLife Stadium. This is ridiculous. Unreal. So Alan is gathered amongst the fans getting hand warmers on this frigid April 20th. Pretty crazy. And, of course, he's got to accommodate everybody with pictures. John Starks is going to be joining us in just a few minutes. We'll get his thoughts on the game tonight and the Knicks' chances of making a run here. But as Allen makes it back to the dais with his hand warmers. Wasn't it 90 degrees like less than a week ago?
It felt like it. It definitely did. Well, let's see. These are toe warmers, by the way, but I'm told they're still going to work.
Is it working?
What am I supposed to do here?
I think you're supposed to chew on them and then throw them in your hand.
Chew on them? No. Put them in your feet.
Oh. All right, you got it?
Let me see.
There you go.
I'll let you know in a minute. Right here? Like this? All right.
Yeah, he's starting to feel it.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is nice.
And the Knicks fans are starting to feel it here,
they're
too.
odor absorbing, too, Don. So that's helpful.
All right, we're going to talk
Very
to
nice.
John Starks coming up in a couple of minutes. But
Yes.
while we wait his arrival, what adjustments, if you're the Knicks, should you expect from the Hawks tonight?
To me, it's got to be they're going to up their physicality, which I don't know how they can because I thought they were very physical in game one, but I think they've got to know that with their lack of size, and I didn't check the injury list. I would doubt he'd miss the game, but Okongwu had it was questionable with knee soreness, so that's
Right.
not good because
No.
he's their best big man, and he shoots the ball really well. But the point that I think they know they can't let Towns get off like that. They've got to hit him a little more and try to frustrate him and get him off his game. Brunson the same way. Early on, I would imagine you're going to see a Hawks team try to be a little more physical and hope the officiating lets it be a physical game. It's really the only way they can slow down an offense that they really struggled to stop in the second half once they got going. That's the one adjustment I think you'll see from Atlanta. They're going to also want to get the turnovers and get into transition. That's a huge part of it, of course, for them. That's a big part of their game.
Right.
For the Knicks, really adjustment-wise, it's going to be continuing to deal with the two guards because Alexander Walker didn't have a great game one at all. You expect he'll play better in game two, shoot the ball better. And so between him and McCollum, two guards that if you let them get loose, they can bury you with threes. And so that's another area for the Knicks. They've really got to be concerned with not dropping too much in coverage and staying on the perimeter so these guys don't get any airspace.
But let's face it.
Easier said than done, of
for
course.
the Knicks and for the NBA in general. If you're not hitting your threes, you're probably going to lose a game.
Yeah, that's
so
the
we
NBA
could
today.
talk about the adjustments of what this has to happen, what that has to happen, and all that, but it usually just comes down to are you hitting your threes, you're not hitting your threes. And if they're off with their threes, it's going to give Atlanta a chance to win the game.
All right, so key to the game, Knicks, hit your threes. Key to the game, Hawks, hit your threes.
But it sounds
We're done.
simplistic, but am I wrong?
No, you're not. Majority of these playoff games that we're seeing, the team that struggles shooting threes are more than likely going to lose that game. But, you know, the Knicks didn't struggle with their threes. The Hawks made threes and then made a bunch late that made it too interesting, of course. But that also was a great example at the end of the game because they were the trail threes, the ones that kill you. You get down in transition. You get all the way back into the paint, your boxes and elbows, and then you realize that if your back is turned as you're getting back, there's a late guy that just shows up. They kick it out, and he just drains threes. They get into rhythm again. Threes are amazing. At home, they give you momentum, but on the road, they kill momentum by the opposing team.
Right.
And that's the danger of them because you can see it. The groans begin for the home crowd when the opposing team starts making threes. And when you make one or two open ones, what happens is you start making contested ones. That's the dangerous part of a start of a game. You got to keep a team off their rhythm by not letting them get those early, easy looks.
And conversely, you know what it does for the home crowd when the home team.
This place goes bananas when they knock down threes. Yeah.
So
these work, by the way. These are tremendous.
All right.
So this is good. So everywhere else is cold, but my hands are nice and warm. Thank you so much.
All right, while we're waiting for John Starks, we can take some phone calls at 1-800-919-3776. John in the Bronx. You're on Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
Hey, guys. What's up? Love what you do. I'm John. I'm a big New York fan, big New York Knicks fan, and I just happened to be out in Denver this weekend going to a concert. And just on a whim Friday night, I was like, oh, wow, the Nuggets have game one. Let me go check out what these tickets might be. For $100, I got in the building. It was amazing. And then the next day, I went to the Rockies-Dodgers game for like $30. So I just wanted to say it's crazy the prices we have to pay as New Yorkers. But when we go to other cities, the prices are so much cheaper. It's shocking almost.
Yeah,
it really is.
Obviously, New York, you're going to have a lot more affluent people that are willing to spend money and the passion that they have. But we even mentioned, like, the get-into prices for the Avalanche were fairly cheap considering how good a team they were during the course of the regular season. Every city's
but
different.
Buffalo,
for
though,
sure.
right? Wasn't that a ridiculous?
Buffalo was the most expensive.
That was a high-demand ticket for Game 1 because it's the first playoff game.
I think their
they've
get-in
had
was the
15
same
years.
price as the Knicks for tonight.
It's like $300 and change, right?
Yeah.
And I also just want to add to that. It was really nice, though, to see at the Nuggets game, there were so many families there, so many different generations of people. It's just cool that, in other cities they're able to really get, the whole family out for a decent price.
Well, that's been a major talking point, especially here in New York when it comes to all of the teams. I mean, the football teams forget. I don't know how a family can do that on a regular basis.
And that's always been the case.
And then obviously, Mets and Yankees is that's like a one-off. A lot of times you go once, you're not going to be able to go that much. But it's unfortunately just kind of where it's gone. It's become a luxury here in New York to be able to attend games, especially playoff games.
Well, there's so many people.
And there's something
so
that
many corporations.
They tried here to protect the resale because that's the face value of the ticket is one thing. It's the resale that drives it up. And a lot of times when playoff tickets go on sale, you get the secondary markets. They buy up a ton of tickets, and then they mark them up as the games get more and more valuable. And they tried here to do a protection of fans buying tickets by not releasing them until 24 hours before the game to see if they could slow that down even a little bit. But, yeah, that get-in tonight on a secondary market is pretty steep.
Well, it's supply and demand, right? And there are a lot of people in New York and a lot of Knicks fans, and they want to be able to see their team play. Always a pleasure to talk to Griffin in Connecticut here on ESPN New York. What's up, Griff?
Hey, Griff.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good.
My hands are warm.
I hope you guys had a good – I know it's ridiculous. This is – you know what this is? This is Yankees in the playoffs right now. Not the Hawks and Knicks in the playoffs. This is like the Yankees are in the playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was looking at Ticketmaster yesterday to see the prices of the Toronto Temple, the new WNBA team, their home opener, and it was the upper section was maxed over $400
for their first game.
For their first game, the upper section.
That means there's a high demand. Clearly, people want to see it, which is great for the league.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's great for them.
It is. It really is.
Hearing Wings Fever was over $600?
Yeah, Wings Fever over $600. So Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark match up.
Well, there you go.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I could see that being a hot ticket, too. Absolutely.
Yeah, Toronto's become a little bit of a basketball town considering the Raptors won their title.
Although, again, you can say what you want about the Sabres, good for them and all that stuff, but Buffalo can go scratch. Because what did the Bills do but congratulate and good luck to?
Yeah, the Toronto Raptors.
The Toronto Raptors.
We stopped. We won that debate.
Don't ever tell me about only one football team in New York. They don't consider themselves New York.
Well, no, they consider themselves Canada.
Yeah.
They haven't considered themselves American. How about that?
So that's over.
All right, John Starks is going to be joining us next.
He is.
And then we'll get you ready for the Knicks and the Hawks with our coverage beginning at 7 o'clock with Pat O'Keefe right here. Don Hahn and Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
The Knicks.
In the lane with two. Floater at the horn is good and rattled in. 19 first quarter points for Brunson.
The Hawks.
Deuce off the dribble. Buries a three. Deuce McBride came to play in the fourth quarter.
The NBA playoffs.
All the way to the rim. Right hand bank shot and a foul. Karl Anthony Towns is taken over.
Game 2 coverage gets underway tonight at 7 on 880 and the ESPN New York app.
Monkey Sports, built by players for players, is your one-stop shop for hockey, baseball, lacrosse, and more. Find top-name equipment and expert in-store services like sharpening, break-ins, and relacing. Shop in-store at Monkey Sports in Farmingdale or Woodbridge or online for all the top brands. Whatever your sports, Monkey Sports gets you game ready fast. Monkey Sports, where athletes shop.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good.
This is Rick Brunson, the assistant coach from the New York Knicks. I'll be driving to our games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing. Just mention I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory and great deals on new vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Rick Brunson sent you.
I can't do it today. I already have plans. Something came up. There are a million reasons to put off a cancer screening, but one reason to keep it. Early detection can save lives. Every screening, every result, every early detection matters. At Pfizer, we're fighting against cancer, aiming for 8 cancer breakthroughs by 2030. Join the fight against cancer and get screened at Pfizerforall.com/screenings.
When you tell someone what team you cheer for, do they apologize? Does your first childhood memory involve crying on a Jumbotron? Then you may be a fan of a BST or bad sports team. Luckily, when you bundle your home and auto insurance with Progressive, you're protected from things like fire damage caused by violently unplugging the TV. Or an accidental overhand left to the drywall. Visit Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Covered subject to policy terms. Not available in all states or situations.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
The Knicks, that's a good game.
The Knicks' fourth quarter dominance and playoff experience wins the day and wins game one.
Jalen came out and made a statement.
Brunson for three. Good from the left wing. He cannot miss right now.
We got bigger goals here.
Playoffs in New York is different. The vibe is different.
It always feels special walking into MSG.
The energy, it's unmatched. It's an unreal energy. It's truly special.
Morning Start with DiPietro and Rothenberg. Weekdays from 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Hahn and Rosenberg outside Madison Square Garden, Plaza 33. 8 o'clock tip. Our coverage here on 880 for Knicks Hawks. Game 2 begins at 7 with Pat O'Keefe, and it's always a pleasure whenever we're doing anything outside the Garden about the Knicks is talk to the great John Starks, who's braving the great white north here as if it's any other April 20th. He is not
right there
dressed for this weather.
No, I'm dressed. I'm good.
You're not freezing?
No.
So there's something wrong with us.
Not yet.
All right, give it time.
I got toe warmers, using them as hand warmers. That's where we're at right now.
I got you,
Johnny. All right, I've been asking everybody this because, and you know this better than anybody because you lived through it as a player and you've been through it now around the team as much as you are going to all the games, is like we just have this thing in New York before a playoff series. Is like, okay, how are we losing this one? Right? It's always that mentality from fans. Like, how are we going to lose this? How are we going to screw this up? And so I kept feeling like, no, like if they're who we think they are, they should be able to handle this series. And after game 1, I felt like vindicated from what I watched. What did you see?
Same thing. This team has paid their dues over the last couple of years. I equate it to our run in '94, where we had to go through stages in order to get to that point. We lost to Chicago in the semifinals in 2 years. Then we lost to
92, right?
92. Then we lost to Chicago in the conference finals. Then the following year we broke through. Same thing with this team. It's kind of eerie, kind of similar. They lost to Indiana 2 straight years, semifinals as well as conference finals. And now I feel that it's their time to break through. And just watching the team and went up to their practice and watching them go through situations and things of that nature, they understand what this means at this point in time. And so I have all the confidence that we're going to break through this year.
How is it when there's expectations going in? You still got to play the 82.
Yeah.
You still got to go through the first round. So is it difficult to stay focused when you know the goal is so far down the road, but you still have all these other stages to go through before you can get there?
Yeah, it's tough because you wish you could just fast forward everything. But as you know, it's just a progression that you have to go through as a team, having a new coach in place and new system in place. So you're going to have these ebb and flows throughout the season, and you're going to have some ups and downs. And so people was talking about they playing against 4 playoff teams at the end of the season. I say good, because that's going to lock you in and get you ready for the playoffs. And I like what I saw in those last 3 to 4 ball games. Obviously, Charlotte game didn't mean anything, but those 3 games before was playoff basketball atmosphere. And so I love what I see in this team, the focus that they have right now. And, I'm excited.
How did you feel then about, with that in mind, the thought of getting Atlanta? A lot of people thought, the Knicks got the toughest draw out of the top 4 because of how good they played out of their minds. They had a great second half. The Hawks were one of the best teams in the league down the stretch, and a strong finish to the season. They did beat the Knicks once, and it was, all the games were very competitive.
Yeah.
The other choice, of course, would have been the ability to play the Raptors. It didn't work out that way, and a Raptors team that the Knicks have dominated. I tried to make the argument of, there's an iron sharpens iron about this. If you're going to go on a run, you don't want to have an easy way in. It's better to be tested early to stay sharp. Are you the kind of guy that would have said, I'd rather play a more difficult matchup to get me ready, or did you want the easy first-round opponent to just sail into the second round?
Yeah, just whoever's on your schedule, who you
don't even
face.
care. Okay,
yeah, you don't even care. You know what I mean? Toronto is not an easy team either. To be honest with you, I think that series with Cleveland. I think over the course of the year, I think Cleveland haven't beaten them that year.
Yeah,
during the year. So
they beat them pretty good in Game 1, though.
Yeah, they beat them pretty good in Game 1. But I think that you go into every series understanding that it's going to be a tough series, no matter who you play. You have to be ready for anything that's going to happen. But these type of series right here keeps you sharp. And playing against a good team like the Atlanta Hawks, is going to make for some competition out there on the court. And, like I said, these guys been in playoff mode since, the last 4 games of the season.
Yeah, you can see it.
And so you can see it. And I think, just like what you said earlier, I think they've been waiting for this time, just to see where they're at. But I like what I see in them.
What is the challenge? Because you went through different coaches, but to have that level of expectation, and then you change the coach.
Yeah.
So not only do you have to get prepared for the regular season, the postseason, but now to adjust to a new system. How challenging is that?
It's tough early on. It's tough. I think Coach Brown has done an incredible job. I like what the dynamics that he brings from the offensive stand of things, and he really haven't hit them with everything that he's going to put in during the playoffs. And so I know that's coming down the stretch. Just learning a new system is very difficult. Just the intricacies that you have to, understand while you're out there on the court, and you have to, sometimes do it on the fly, because I know during our time with Coach Riley, we put in a whole different scheme of things during the playoffs, because
really?
teams.
Well, they know what you're doing.
Yeah,
right?
They know what you're doing. So you have to, mix things up during the playoffs, and every game is different. Every game takes on its own personality, and so this is not going to be any different during this series right here.
So going back to those days, something happened Saturday night. The Towns and Brunson each scored over 25 points.
Yeah,
it's the 4th time I think they've done that in a playoff game. That tied two other duos.
Yeah.
Do you know who the other two guys that have
me
done
and
it
Patrick.
for?
Yeah, because I see them.
Oh, you saw it. Okay. So, well, I love it. You pay attention. It shows you how locked in you are.
Yeah.
But that does say something because this franchise did have Melo and Amari.
Yes.
We have seen where two stars can just stay in their own lane and two stars can play off each other.
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, famously, your incredible dunk was from a screen from Patrick Ewing, right?
Yes,
so you guys are doing screen and roll.
Yes.
To see Jalen and Kat start playing together like that, and you're a guy that has watched a lot of games. I know you know this team well. What does that mean for you, and what do you think that means for opposing teams when you're seeing it work the way it's been working?
Yeah, no, it means a lot. I think, and I got to give a lot of credit to Jalen because Jalen likes to put the ball in the basket. And so,
who doesn't?
He had to figure out, how to keep everybody involved within the system. And, you watch his growth as the season went on, especially coming down the stretch. He got to get that in sync with Kat on that pick and roll. You know what I mean? And you watch Jalen, he's looking to give it up and getting guys involved because it's going to make his job a lot easier.
Right.
Because what teams were starting to do to him was to double him
trap him
early on and get the ball out his hand. And you can see the frustration in that with him and trying to figure that part out and keep aggressive and what have you. And finally, he figured it out, and it's a problem right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's seriously a problem right now because he's giving you points and he's giving you assists at the same time. And I think, the guys understand when he get double and he kicks that ball, be aggressive and go attack. And you score 2 or 3 times, they're going to come out of doubling him. Then that's going to make his job. That's going to open everything up for him. And I always go back to the phrase that LeBron James said last year. He said, if you don't double him, he's going to beat you, and he will beat you. And that's where the other guys got to understand that is when he gives it up, go attack and go score. And eventually they're going to come off of it. And then he can do what he want to do after that.
Talking to John Starks here, getting ready for Knicks-Hawks Game 2 here at Madison Square Garden. Tip-off is set for 8 o'clock. Our coverage begins at 7 right here on 880 ESPN New York. Cat's toughness has been questioned all season long. Shaq kind of went after him about a month ago. How unfair do you think that criticism is?
Well, when you have a Hall of Famer such as Shaquille O'Neal, I seen Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter talking to him.
Yep.
And to Carl's credit, he takes all that in, and he used that as fuel. And you've seen the way he's been playing ever since. You know what I mean? Because guys understand how important he is to our success. They wouldn't be talking to him. Mm-hmm. And to watch him take that advice and go out there and perform the way he's been performing over the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's just been amazing. And, he didn't look at it as, these guys getting on me, but he's looking at it as they trying to help me. And that's the growth that you see in him. And so I'm excited about what he's bringing to the table, especially on the defensive end of the court. He's moving his feet. He's blocking shots. He's rebounding. I like everything I see in his demeanor out there on the court.
Who's your favorite player on the team? We always have the one player. Maybe it's even one you relate to, but is there a guy that, on this team that you watch and you're like, that's my guy?
Not really. I love all the guys because I think I know, just from playing basketball, it's going to take everybody to get the job done. These guys are very special. They're a special group of individuals, and you could just see them coming together. And that's what I love seeing. And that's the way we was during the 90s. We had to come together. And I'm seeing that group is coming together. They believe in one another, trusting one another. They trust in the coaches. So I'm excited. I really am. I'm excited about what holds for this team. And
you feel it?
I do.
You do?
I do.
What is it about it that gives? Because this is the second time you've referenced this now when we've been talking, and you didn't do this in the past. So what is it? Just because there've been a couple of heartbreaks, like you were mentioning your experience? Yeah. You got to go through a couple of heartbreaks to understand it, and then when you do have an opportunity, that 1 year it just has to come together.
Yeah. And you said a mouthful there.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. You know what I mean? You have to pay your dues in this league before you break through. Every team has to go through it. And this team has paid their dues. And so I know it's their time, but they just have to go out there and get it done.
You referenced how Cat, respected the criticism he got from former players. I know you're around a lot of former Knicks have communication with the current Knicks. How rare is that the modern athlete respects the previous generation?
It's rare in a sense, but I think these guys understand that we're very genuine and that we want them to be very successful. We didn't play this game at a high level, and they respect, everything about what we have done. They call me OG, which I'm feeling old now, but I love being around these guys, and I love seeing their attitude and the love that they have for one another. That's the love we had back in the 90s for one another, had each other's back at all times. And so it's very important that, we there for them, and they see that, you know what I mean? And they can walk up to us anytime and ask us for advice. And everybody that you see on that sideline is willing to give that. And so that's just a respect factor.
You guys started something with that a couple of years ago, Alumni Row. At one point, I think it was just kind of 4 of you. And you had the towel around your neck like an AAU uncle yelling at referees. And
Me
trying
and Steph.
right, Stephon was there and having to pull you back. And that was fun. But it does feel like most of the I remember watching Game 1. You saw Iman Shumpert was here Saturday, which I said to him, it was nice to see you back in the building. But it does feel like all around the court, you're looking at different generations.
Yes.
Clyde's sitting courtside now that he's not doing the games.
The elder statesman.
You see, right? You see Bernard. You see, like they're trying to do it around the league now.
Yeah.
But you guys have started this thing.
Yeah.
What's unique about this?
They can't copy us. There's only one New York, period.
What do you notice, though, about why these guys now are coming out?
When I see it, they got their former players sitting up in the stands. We courtside.
Yes.
And
literally.
And that's a credit to Mr. Dolan, who wants us front and center. And not too many owners want that, you know what I mean? But just to have all these guys around supporting these young guys, and they feel it. And they understand what this means to play in New York, especially this time of the year. It's time to go get it. And so we there for them. And I'm excited. Everybody that you see courtside is excited for this team, and we just want to continue to support them.
It's interesting. The game has changed so much, even from when you just played. There's more threes. The game's played differently.
Imagine if you played now.
Right.
Oh, my God. How many would you put up a game?
Oh, bro. I hate to even think about that.
Hey, Mike Brown's like green light. Spray it out there. Kick those three. Yeah. You would be hanging out in the corner just like going like the pocket right here. Patrick.
Well, if I throw it at Patrick, I'm never going to see it. You already know.
So is it just the advice you give is just the general advice that would work in any generation, or do you find yourself to make the adjustment and be up on the modern game so that your advice can be the equivalent of what they're playing in now?
No, the old school advice always worked.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's no different. It's basketball game.
Hit them twice. They only call one foul.
There you go. No, it always works. You know what I mean? And, the things that we say out there on the court while they playing, and they are here to it. You know what I mean? So they understand what we're trying to get across to them. Old school rules work, in today's game. Mm-hmm. Tools still win you basketball games. You know what I mean? And so, but what I love about these guys is that they taking good threes. You know, they just not coming down randomly, just jacking up threes, and that'll get you beat. You know, we done seen that many a times.
Yeah.
You know, but they taking good threes outside within the offense, and you don't complain about those.
So, speaking of like the old school ways still work, this Knicks team is one of 2 teams in the league that all 5 starters played 65 games. We know the 65-game rules become a conversation, but you've got 2 stars that have played over 70 games.
Yeah.
All right, your 2 All-NBA players made sure to be over 70. Availability. And that's something that is unique, unfortunately, in today's NBA. Mm-hmm. How do you feel as a former player, as a guy that, you know, played in probably the most the toughest era that this sport has seen, that there are these conversations about, you know, 65 might be too much and let's make an exception. Are you somebody that understands it? Because, you know, some of the current players say, you know, the game's different now, it's harder on the body. And I say, how's that hot tub and cold tub that comes with you on every trip and everything else that's part of the deal today? How do you look at today's conversations about playing 65 games?
Man, you get paid to go play 2.5 hours in a day. That's, you know, you'll go out there and play a pickup game, and you play more hours than that. You know, it's just about going out there and want to play and want to compete. You know what I mean? I'm a very competitive person. For people who knows me understands that. Yeah. And so I did everything I could to be out on the court, no matter what. Outside of a broken leg, I was playing. You know what I mean? And so I just like to compete. I like the competition. The practices is not like our practices. Our practices was like 2 hours of 2.5 hours, sometimes 3 hours of practicing. I mean, like body slamming and all of that. You know, their practices is not like that. So to complain about you have to play an 82 game, season, majority of players that played in my era, we kind of like laugh at that. You know what I mean? When they talk about shortening the season. For what? You know what I mean? And you just got to go out there and compete, want to play basketball, want to compete every single day, want to go against the best every single day. Like I tell people, if I could go against Michael Jordan every single day, I'd be in heaven. You know what I mean? And that's about just wanting to play against the best every single day. The mindset that, you know, we should have less games, that don't sit well with no former player. You know, even the guys that, you know, played before me. You know what I mean? Some of those guys had to play 3 games in a row.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they didn't complain about it. And they was getting paid less money.
And fly commercial.
Flying commercial. Yeah. I remember that day. When I came in the league, I flew commercial, and it wasn't fun. You know, now you basically, you know, you flying private. You got everything is taken care of for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So stop complaining. Go out there and do your job and play the game what you get paid for.
Yeah, but they seem to believe that the game's harder now than it was when you played.
No.
Because of the speed, the up and down, that's why they can't play 82.
No. Use your bench. That's a problem. If that's a problem, use your bench. But no. The game was obviously a lot physical back then, you know, and yeah, it is a little bit more up and down, you know, free-flowing basketball right now, but still, that's just like if you're going out and playing in the park. You know what I mean? It's no different.
Right.
And so 82 games is nothing. You sneezed at that back in our day.
Yeah, it's amazing that it's become a conversation that they made the rule at 65, and this year now it's like, is that too many games? Like, oh, is that too many games?
No.
But that's, and I always love to ask guys from your era, because that's the era that's compared mostly.
Yes.
The 90s are compared a lot, and there are players today that go, you can't compare it. What we do today is just different than the way they played, and it's harder on the body. And, you know, it's always an interesting debate back and forth. All right, so winning game 1's important. Getting game 2 at home obviously gets you full control now of the series, right? It's so important. So adjustments have to be made. You were there. You were watching that game 1. If there's an adjustment the Knicks need to be ready for game 2, what would it be?
Like I said earlier, they more than likely it's going to be a double team on Jalen. You know, that's the only adjustment that I can see them making.
Well, that means Towns will be.
Yeah,
one-on-one.
Yeah, he's be one-on-one. A lot of guys will be one-on-one. And like I say, it's all about, these guys, once he gives it up, is go attack and go score. And that's the most important thing. Whenever your superstar get doubled like that, as soon as he give it to that middle, just go.
Mhm.
Go attack. And once you score 2 or 3 times, they'll come out of it. And so that's the only adjustment that I can see Atlanta making right now, because everybody played very well during our bench, played very well. I like what Clarkson is doing. I like what Deuce is doing. Landry, he's going to get going. So I love everything, and obviously, Big Mitch. We got Mitch, man.
Well,
he's a lifesaver. I can't say enough about him. I really can't. Yeah.
Well, John, you've always been good to us.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be able to talk to you a few more times before this
Hopefully
run.
it'll be warmer next time we're out here with you. You know what I mean?
Maybe it'll be spring in New York by then.
Yeah.
John Starks,
Thank you,
everybody.
John.
Thank you.
ESPN New York and Floor & Decor are giving you the chance to design your day with Michael K. One lucky fan and guest will win a studio visit, exclusive meet and greet with the great Michael K. This is your all-access pass and experience that you will not forget. To enter, head to Floor & Decor flagship store on 850 3rd Avenue in Brooklyn. Design your day with Michael K. presented by Floor & Decor. More to come on Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg till 7 here on ESPN New York.
1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it is game time, nothing.
It's Tully time.
I like that.
It's Tully time.
That's why we're here. Game 2 between the Knicks and the Hawks here at MSG, with the coverage immediately following us on 880 at 7 o'clock. Yankees and Mets have the day off. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly.
All right, we got a crowd building here.
Yeah, and they were doing a Let's Go Knicks
crowd.
while we were in commercial. We should do it now.
Let them hear you all
Let's
around
go.
New York.
Let's hear ya.
Let's go. Are you ready for game 2? I was told in New York we got to learn how to calm down. It's early, right? I was told you got to calm down. It's early. No. It's New York. It's Knicks basketball. It's the playoffs.
All right. Take a few calls before we get out of Dodge here and hand it off to Pat O'Keefe in the Garden for the pregame of Game 2, Hawks and the Knicks. 1-800-919-3776. Chris and Bayshore, you're on ESPN New York.
Yeah, hey, guys. That was a great talk with Starks. It was a lot of fun.
He's awesome.
I'm going back with the Knicks. My favorite player growing up was John Gianelli. That's how old I am. But,
oh, wow.
Yeah,
is he one of the Minutemen? Was he one of those guys, right? The Minutemen?
Yeah. Yep.
Love
he was 73. I don't know if he was on the 70 team. I know he was on the 73 team, but he was a good role player. That little baby hook, it was awesome. But I think they'll be fine. I don't think that I'm not too worried. I mean, obviously you got to play the games, but I think if they do what they should do, it should be fine. But I got a quick Dexter point. I think that the Giants basically stole that deal. I don't know how you feel about it. I know it's football. It's a Nick night, but no, I'm pretty confident about this series overall.
Well, you should be. They're the better team. They showed it in Game 1. I think when Allen was talking about, trying to keep things in perspective, I just think that's the right thing to do, just because, hey, each series at a time. And if they take care of business tonight, they'll be even more control, and we'll see what happens when they go to Atlanta later in the week.
Yeah.
But with the Lawrence stuff, I mean, we didn't get to some of the calls, like people just, why couldn't you just get it done? Give him what he wants. That's not how it works in a hard cap sport. He didn't want to be here. I think the Giants tried to make it work, but at the same time, he's coming off a tough year, and he didn't have any leverage. And the Giants, I don't think, wanted to trade him, but when you get offered a 10th overall pick,
how do you say no?
It's very difficult
especially
to say no.
when you have the 5th. Now you got, you really can run the draft. You also said something, I believe, earlier in the show, if not when we were talking before the show. If a player tells you, when you're told, I don't want to play for you, I'm not going to beg you to stay. Like, if I can get a deal for you, I'll get a deal, especially if I can get a pick like that. So the idea of why couldn't you work it out? Now, once you say you don't want to be here, our conversations are over.
Yeah, I think so. You try to make it work for sure.
Yeah, money's going to make that go away? No.
Yeah,
money's going to make it go away for a little while, and then it comes back again.
And listen, did the Giants make themselves better this year? No, because he's a great player. But
did they set themselves up for the future?
They set themselves up for sure.
There
Because even with a healthy Dexter Lawrence balling out, what are your expectations for this team, moving forward? Because certainly they're going to be improved from last year where they had 5 wins. You hope maybe you go 7, 8.
Yeah.
You're contention for a playoff spot. But it's not just about 1 year. Cincinnati's thinking about this year. They're trying to literally keep Joe Burrow in Cincinnati.
Yep.
They're trying to take advantage of a wide-open division. The Giants still have to contend with a good Philadelphia team. They still got to contend with a good Dallas team.
You don't know what
the
Washington's
Commanders
going to be.
could bounce back. They were in the championship game the year before.
Right.
It's really, really difficult to win in the NFL, and you got to think long-term. And certainly John Harbaugh is thinking long-term.
It's amazing where you think about, you get John Harbaugh, you would think every player that has gone through what they've gone through with the Giants the last couple of years, especially veterans, you would think they would feel like, okay, it's starting to turn. We got a guy that's got a ring on his finger. We got a guy that's done nothing but win.
Right.
We understand that he's going to come in and we're going to get back on track. And yet one of your best players says, I don't want to be here. That's to me, again, I don't understand.
And he's all in.
That's weird.
What's winning? It's everybody being together, everybody all in, not a guy, in minicamp saying, I don't want to be here.
Yeah, no. Bad sign. So better to move on, get the pick. It sure makes the draft even that much more interesting now Thursday night.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jets have 2 first-round picks. The Giants have 2 first-round picks. both franchises trying to get themselves on track and, can do it in a draft like this. And I'd be curious to see. I know you hate it, but I'd be curious to see with this kind of draft capital, can you get risky?
Can you get aggressive and trade up?
Arizona might be moving that pick. They could be interested in getting draft capital to jump over Tennessee and have a chance to get Jeremiah Love, who's a game-changing offensive talent.
It's interesting.
It might be high for a running back. We've been there before.
But with that 10th pick and with the coach wanting him and building around him, not to try to catch lightning in a bottle for 1 year like what Gettleman was trying to do with Barkley, but to actually go out there and have something sustainable. You said you did some scouting for this game, some stuff that you wanted to get to. I don't know if you got to all of it during the show.
Well, I mean, look, the few things that I noticed in Game 1, but of the adjustment at halftime is the one that really stood out to me about slowing down the transition. The transition's everything. That's what Atlanta wants to do. So for the Knicks, how do you slow it down? Well, for one way you slow it down, you drew so many fouls that you got to the free throw line. When you're shooting free throws, the team can't run. Right? Like, to me, the thing I'm watching for Game 2, Atlanta and what they try to do, John Starks thinks they're going to start trapping Brunson. If you start doubling one guy, and if Towns is on the floor, then this is another. This looks like it could be another big Towns game. So that's something to watch. Is can Towns build off of what he did, in that, especially in the second half of Game 1? Like that area to me stands out more than anything else, right? But while you don't want to look ahead, there is, that part that we talked about Tyler Murray, the two small players that play pick and roll together. So for the Hawks, you're going to see a lot of it with Alexander Walker, McCollum doing a lot of things where they are going to make you make a decision, and the other guy's going to get open for a three. And those guys get hot. They can bury you from threes. That's what was working with them. If the Knicks can figure that out and start to get used to playing it, if they get out of this series and they meet Boston, it's a very similar offense that Boston runs too. So it does at least give you a lot of experience against it. So those are things to watch. I think I would watch tonight physicality. I think this is a game for Atlanta that they have to make sure that Towns doesn't run ragged, that he doesn't get out, drive to the basket, get and ones. They're going to want to hit early. I have a feeling this game might be extra physical. Zach Zarba's the lead official tonight. It'll be interesting to see how the officials call this game, what they allow and what they won't allow, because this, while, we didn't talk about this, the Brunson-McCollum thing, you saw that, right?
Yeah.
So McCollum kicked Brunson right in the area no man wants to be kicked. And then after the game said that Brunson thought he was at a Broadway show, acting a little bit to draw the technical foul. Now, we saw the replay. It does not look like acting. Any man knows here that is not an act when you get hit there.
No.
I don't see animosity between the two. Brunson didn't take it anywhere yesterday when they asked him about it. He just said, I'm going to leave it there. You're like, whatever. But there was a couple of instances in Game 1, and a series always does this, where it starts to get, I'm sick of you, right?
Yeah.
Physicality especially. They were fouling Mitchell Robinson on purpose. On one foul, he also got kneed in the same area. And he didn't like it. He shoved away. It was Mo Gay. He shoves him away. There's some like eye contact looks that were happening that I am watching for this game. Which player reaches a boiling point with an opponent that he's had to go physical against in Game 1, that by Game 2, I'm already tired of this guy. Because that's when a series gets real.
Yeah.
When you start to see the animosity build up.
That starts to build. Does Zarba let him play?
It depends. I mean, it's not Scott Foster, but I think Zach does like to be in control of a game and doesn't want it to get out of hand. So for Atlanta, what they don't have a size factor, they're going to have to up the physicality. Maybe not as much against Towns, but definitely against Brunson.
Yeah.
And if Brunson is not getting whistles and he's allowed to get knocked off his balance, that could change the game. So all things to watch tonight.
All right, guys, you ready to go? So let's we had a nice "Let's Go Knicks" chant. There you go. They're fired up.
They are fired up. They're going to need to be fired up. It's not going to get warmer tonight.
No. When you leave the Garden tonight, it's going to be even colder.
But there's enough body heat happening right now, and the intensity, of course, as well. So this should be fun. It's only the beginning, everybody.
Peter is back tomorrow, so we'll be fresh 3 o'clock. Recap Game 2. Get back into the Yankees and the Mets. The Devils have a new general manager they're announcing tomorrow.
By the way, Trae
Young
Young doesn't play for the Hawks anymore.
Yeah, what's going on with that, all right? Come on. Come up with a better chant than that. But anyway, thanks a lot. This was a lot of fun. We'll be back here later on in the playoffs. Back with you tomorrow at 3. Don Anna Rosenberg, ESPN New York.
Knicks fans, it's time to hit the court with BetMGM, an